I'll start it. I'll start it when I'm done. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Man. All right. So
ball. Totally not real, no matter how unnerving its gaze is.
This looks pretty advanced. Are we really ready for this?
Oh yeah, sure, I know it seems complex, and I don't expect you to be able to draw realistic looking heads and faces by the end of today, but you are ready to learn this skill. And this is going to bring you a lot closer to understanding how to take some of the basics we learned before and apply them to draw real life things. So in the last lesson, we learned about construction. That is combining basic shapes to make up objects. We stuck mostly to man-made objects. Well, now it's time to apply that to more organic shapes. Our head here is the next step. So let's start this class with a review. We're gonna be leaning pretty heavily on our old friend, the sphere.
I remember him.
Don't trust a cube. He's a cannibal.
What? No.
That's what people are saying.
He's not allowed back in the school, but we need him to draw things. You
Yeah.
remember all the basics of making a sphere, right? Okay, we'll review. We start by drawing a circle. Practice drawing with your arm. Keep your wrist tight and straight. It's okay to practice your circle above the paper or screen before laying it down. And you can go over your circle more than once. Good, that looks good. Now that we have that circle, let's sphere it up. We're gonna draw an ellipse. The first one we are going to draw horizontally. An ellipse is a fancy word for oval. Then we're gonna draw our second ellipse vertically. If you have an eraser, you can even erase the lines that go along the back of the sphere, since we don't see those lines in real life. Ta-da! We have a sphere.
I have been summoned.
No, you cannot be here.
Ha! I live here, in the supply closet, by all the weird stuff you buy on the internet. This really does feel like a Nerf ball.
Okay, you could stay, but you need to behave.
You need to behave.
Here is what I want everyone to do. Take out a piece of paper, and I want you to draw 5 circles. We're going to be turning each one of these circles into a sphere, just like we did a minute ago. So I want you to line them up on your page just like this. I have my 5 spheres here ready to go. Let's start with the center sphere. We are looking straight on, directly at the front of that sphere. So when we're looking at it, we don't see any bend to the lines. If we were looking at it from an angle, we would, but since we're looking directly on, we don't. Now, some of the other spheres, like the ones on the side, we want those to be looking to the left and looking to the right. So for those, we will see those curves. The sphere above our center sphere, we want that one to be tilted up, so it's going to be looking upward. And the one below our center sphere, we want to be looking down. Before we get into some realistic looking heads, let's draw some cartoon heads. Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
The direction your sphere is facing will dictate
Okay.
the direction that your head is facing. So let's draw some eyes. We're gonna keep those along this center line, and just for fun, let's put the nose on the center line too. This is a cartoon after all. The mouth is gonna go below the nose, but we're gonna keep that aligned with the center line of the sphere as well. When our circle person looks up, the nose and mouth will follow that center line. So the eyes are still on the line, the nose is still on the line, and the mouth is still on the vertical line. Same thing when it's looking down. Nose in the center, eyes along the horizontal line, and mouth along the vertical line. And then of course, when we're looking to the left and the right, we're gonna do the same exact thing, filling in our eyes, our nose, and our mouth as we go. And then when we're done and we take away our guidelines, we no longer have that creepy looking sphere, but friendly looking cartoon heads.
Who are you calling creepy looking? That's it. Let's settle this thing like real men. I declare a rap battle.
I've never rapped before.
Let's go. I'm a sphere, not a mastodon, living in ancient times and space.
Okay.
No bounds over my universal form, for I transcend all knowledge and existence. Huh. Guess I won.
On to real heads. Let's get more complicated. Let's start with that sphere again. This is the sphere we are looking at straight on. We are going to be splitting the sphere into segments. We could start by drawing a square on the sphere. We don't need those sides of the sphere anymore, so let's just carve those off.
Go ahead. Cut me. I feel nothing.
Then we're gonna divide that square in half, meaning that there's a line across the center horizontally and then another one going down vertically. In fact, let's carry that vertical line down even further, because we're gonna draw a chin as well, and it's gonna follow that center line. So where does the chin go? Well, we're gonna break this into thirds, which means the height of this line is going to be the same as the height of this line, which is gonna be the same distance between the bottom of that square and then the bottom of our chin line. If you're drawing with pencil and paper, a good way to do this is to use the back of your pencil, maybe putting a finger along the distance of that line, and actually measuring it out that way. Now this top line is our brow line where the eyebrows go. The second line is where the nose goes, and the third line is the bottom line for the chin. This way of drawing a head is a popular way. It's often referred to as the Loomis method after the artist Andrew Loomis. Once we add the jaw, we have the basic outline of the head. I like to come in and define it more at this point, making the outside lines darker, the inside lines maybe erasing those a little bit so they're not as prominent. Let's add some simple facial features. We're gonna start by just throwing some eyebrows up along that brow line, and then we're gonna draw the nose, and the nose, at least the bottom of the nose, is going to rest along the nose line. The eyes go below the brow, of course, and the mouth below the nose. The ears line up with the eyes, and they dip down here a little bit below them. This is still a pretty cartoony looking head. The more simplified your lines are, the more cartoony things are going to look. Of course, you can always go crazy with shading and realism to your heart's content, but if you're just starting out at this point, just being able to understand the basic form of your head is more important than facing. So let's it up, so it's going to be looking upward, and the one below our center sphere we want to be looking down. Before we get into some realistic looking heads, let's draw some cartoon heads.
Yeah,
okay,
whatever.
The direction your sphere is facing will dictate the direction that your head is facing. So let's draw some eyes. We're gonna keep those along this center line, and just for fun, let's put the nose on the center line too. This is a cartoon after all. The mouth is gonna go below the nose, but we're gonna keep that aligned with the center line of the sphere as well. When our circle person looks up, the nose and mouth will follow that center line. So the eyes are still on the line, the nose is still on the line, and the mouth is still on the vertical line. Same thing when it's looking down. Nose in the center, eyes along the horizontal line, and mouth along the vertical line. And then of course, when we're looking to the left and the right, we're gonna do the same exact thing, filling in our eyes, our nose, and our mouth as we go. And then when we're done and we take away our guidelines, we no longer have that creepy looking sphere, but friendly looking cartoon heads.
Who are you calling creepy looking? That's it. Let's settle this thing like real men. I declare a rap battle.
I've never rapped before.
Let's go. I'm a sphere, not a mastodon, living in ancient times and space. Have no bounds over my universal form, for I transcend all knowledge and existence.
Bro, what is he talking about?
Guess I won.
On to real heads. Let's get more complicated. Let's start with that sphere again. This is the sphere we are looking at straight on. We are going to be splitting the sphere into segments. We could start by drawing a square on the sphere. We don't need those sides of the sphere anymore, so let's just carve those off.
Go ahead.
Alright, so we need to get this.
Cut me. I feel nothing.
Then we're gonna divide that square in half, meaning that there's a line across the center horizontally and then another one going down vertically. In fact, let's carry that vertical line down even further because we're gonna draw a chin as well, and it's gonna follow that center line. So where does the chin go? Well, we're gonna break this into thirds, which means the height of this line is going to be the same as the height of this line, which is gonna be the same distance between the bottom of that square and then the bottom of our chin line. If you're drawing with pencil and paper, a good way to do this is to use the back of your pencil, maybe putting a finger along the distance of that line, and actually measuring it out that way. Now this top line is our brow line where the eyebrows go. The second line is where the nose goes, and the third line is the bottom line for the chin. This way of drawing a head is a popular way. It's often referred to as the Loomis method after the artist Andrew Loomis. Once we add the jaw, we have the basic outline of the head. I like to come in and define it more at this point, making the outside lines darker, the inside lines maybe erasing those a little bit so they're not as prominent. Let's add some simple facial features. We're gonna start by just throwing some eyebrows up along that brow line, and then we're gonna draw the nose, and the nose, at least the bottom of the nose, is going to rest along the nose line. The eyes go below the brow, of course, and the mouth below the nose. The ears line up with the eyes, and they dip down here a little bit below them. This is still a pretty cartoon. I'm gonna be splitting this sphere.
Okay, so we got our circle. All right, so I'm missing the lights in the back. No, I didn't do it on purpose. But that G. So. Circle, no. We got. Circle, no. Nope. Good enough. Nope, that's not good enough. Appreciate you, G. How you feeling, G? Okay, this is. Okay.
Sphere into segments. We can start by drawing a square on the sphere. We don't need those.
Okay, draw a square. Actually. Draw a square. All right. And he said, get rid of all this right here. So then I got feeling pretty good. You just accidentally got your finger cut at work. I seen it. It does look fun.
Those sides of the sphere anymore, so let's just carve those off.
Go ahead. Cut me. I feel nothing.
Then we're gonna divide that square in half, meaning that there's a line across the center horizontally and then another one going down vertically. In fact, let's carry that vertical line down even further because we're gonna draw a chin as well, and it's gonna follow that center line. So where does the chin go? Well, we're gonna break this into thirds, which means the height of this line is going to be the same as the height of this line, which is going to be the same distance between the bottom of that square and then the bottom of our chin line. If you're drawing with pencil and paper, a good way to do this is to use the back of your pencil, maybe putting a finger along the distance of that line, and actually measuring it out that way. Now this top line is our brow line where the eyebrows go, the second line is where the nose goes, and the third line is the bottom line for the chin. This way of drawing a head is a popular way. It's often referred to as the Loomis method.
Okay,
after the
Loomis.
artist Andrew Loomis. Once we add the jaw, we have the basic outline of the head. I like to come in and define it more at this point, making the outside lines darker, the inside lines maybe erasing those a little bit so they're not as prominent. Let's add some simple facial features. We're gonna start by just throwing some eyebrows up along that brow line, and then we're gonna draw the nose, and the nose, at least the bottom of the nose, is going to rest along the nose line.
All right, chill. All right, we got. All right, nose line. All right, he got a little. What a. Go draw a little booger. Get a little swoop. A little dash and a little.
The eyes go below the brow, of course.
And then we got a little mouth line right here.
And the mouth below. The
Mine don't look nothing like
ears
his.
line up with the eyes, and they dip down here a little bit below.
Yeah, I'm trying a little
still
bit.
A pretty cartoon.
I'm trying a little bit. Yeah, I've never had any hand control, good enough hand control to draw.
The more cartoony things are going.
That's my
Of course,
hands.
you can always go crazy with shading.
My handwriting
to your heart's
sucks.
content, but if you're just starting out at this point, just being able to understand the
I should have
basic
added a
form of
layer.
your head is more important than getting all of those little details down. This head is also very standard. You can change the jaw, the placement between the eyes and the nose's shape and the size. Go nuts. For example, a woman's head might have a thinner jawline than a man's. Thanos might have a much bigger jawline.
You draw Thanos a lot.
Wait, you see that?
Oh yeah, I see everything that happens in this school.
Everything.
Oh yeah, everything.
DJ Tanner, I was wondering, do you need an opening act this weekend? I got this. Really? No, this is DJ Cowboy, not DJ Water Buffalo. Hello? Hello? Ah, disconnected again. Well, don't tell everyone.
Already have.
I love DJ Water Buffalo. This does start to get more complicated as we look at faces from different angles. Just like before, we're starting with the sphere. And like our cartoon heads, this sphere is going to be looking away. A human head is more flat on the sides. Like we did with the straight-on sphere, we're gonna slice off the sides. But in 3D, flattening out the sides
mine do not look like
means
his.
that I need to put an ellipse here. I'm going to add some cross lines in here to show the flatness of the form.
Mine do not
we still
look
have
like
a brow
his.
line across the center of the sphere, and it curves to conform to the shape. You can see those line up with the lines
hell I just do?
on the side of the sphere. Our second line flows from the bottom of our side ellipse. Then we measure out the distance between those two lines. That's the same amount of space we need in order to find the chin line. This is the same thing we did.
I want to. I want to animate this story.
This point, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. That happened all the way.
Welcome class, today this lesson. We're gonna draw two spheres because I am going to be drawing two heads. The easier one to draw is going to be looking straight on. We are looking head to head, face to face. Now the second one, it's gonna be a little bit trickier because we are going to be drawing that head from an angle. If you're brand new to this, it's going to be a lot easier to focus on the first one than it is on the second one, but it's worth practicing anyhow. So the first thing we want to do with our sphere is we want to find the center lines. We find the center lines of the sphere, and then we cut off the sides of those circles. This gives me a line at the top and the line of the bottom of the circle. This space, the space between the middle line and the bottom line, is the same amount of space between the bottom line and the jaw line. So I'm going to make a mark where that jaw will go. Once we have those proportions in place, I can then go in and sketch out my jaw, and we have a very, very basic head shape. We're going to be using these two heads today. If you want to use mine, you can go to bradsartschool.com and find lesson 3 and get these templates if you're the type of person who likes to print things out.
I'm the type of person who likes to print things out.
So I have
the story is crazy
on the floor, and we are going to put faces on those heads. To make things interesting, I hid facial features all over the school, and you guys are gonna need to go out there and find them and bring them back here to make our faces.
Is that really necessary?
Everybody, break into groups.
Partner?
Yeah.
I don't have a partner again.
Hi, I'm Anil.
Right.
Eel came back for a couple lessons. He didn't finish the class last semester and is making up some credits today.
Hi, electrocuted teacher.
I'm fine. Barely felt it. No side effects at all. None. Face proportions. We use spacing to get our head proportions right, and we're going to be doing the same thing to get our face proportions looking good too. The middle line here is our brow line. The next line down is what's commonly called the nose line, and that bottom line is, you guessed it, our chin line. The eye line goes below the brow line, and the mouth line goes between the chin line and the nose line. The ears on the side of the head start at the brow line, and they go all the way down to the nose line. I've seen different artists handle these proportions differently. If I'm gonna go for a more realistic looking face, I'm gonna move my eyes up closer to the brow line, and the mouth I'm probably gonna move up a little bit as well. For more cartoony heads, you can mess with these proportions all you want. In fact, you're gonna get some great variation doing that. Oh no, not this dream again. Last time I had it, I was eaten by a giant pile of science textbooks before everything went black.
Principal, have you seen any facial features around here?
Oh, you mean like some talking eyes?
Maybe?
They went that way. Eyes are weird because they're spheres embedded in your skull. Of course, we don't see the entire eyeball when we're drawing a face. We just see a tiny portion of that.
But I can.
But you can see in 3D how these spheres lay out in our three-dimensional head. The spheres rest below the brow line. This prevents us from planting the eyes too low in the head. I'm gonna go in here right now, just sketching some eyebrows, just some simple stuff, just so we have a reference point. When we add eyelids along the top and the bottom, we get eyes the shape you think of when you're drawing eyes. Now I have to point out here, eyes come in so many sizes and shapes that is an entire lesson in and of itself. But for now, we're just gonna keep our eyes simple and just place them in here. Also, the head is indented where the eye sockets are. So at some angles, you're gonna see that indentation. Whereas if you're looking straight on it,
Eagles just won.
you're not gonna notice that at all. So keep that in mind too when you're
I don't
spacing
care about the Eagles.
How does this look?
That's not bad, but that eye looks a little bit off-centered. When you're drawing eyelids, most people's eyes aren't perfectly centered like that. The top eyelid usually covers up more of the eyeball than the lower eyelid. Again, I could do an entire lesson on eyes. Subscribe and draw that bell if you don't want to miss out on that one.
This isn't the time to talk to the other fish, Eel. We have body parts to find.
Eel finds nose.
Oh, good job.
Dumb place for nose to hide.
Let's get back to Mr. Brad's big wad of tape he put on the floor.
Unless you're Voldemort, your nose is going to stick out from your face. Going back to our construction method, I want to break this down into its simplest geometric form. And then I want to work from there. In this case, I'm going to take a cube and basically cut it in half, starting in one corner, slicing all the way down on an angle to the other corner. If I take this shape and I place it on our 3D face, it kind of looks like a nose. What this really is the frame that we're going to use to fill in our nose. The top of that cube starts at the brow line, and the bottom of that cube goes down to the nose line, and this gives us a fairly good idea of where that nose is going to sit on that face. Keep in mind, this box is just here to help us visualize where we're going to draw the nose, and being able to visualize it in 3D is going to help us not wind up with another Captain Flat Nose. Ahoy mateys, I can't smell nothing. Noses come in all shapes and sizes. We can tilt it upwards. We can make the tip of the nose flatter by cutting our cube at a different angle. We can even bend that nose. I'm sorry, third graders, but we have to lock up these books. You're gonna have to trust me on this.
Bro, I
Science isn't
suck
that
at
important
drawing.
anyway.
Yo, buddy, I'm stuck. Can you
Drawing-
pull me off
drawing
this
is
before
terrible
locking us up.
for me.
Yeah, we got places to be.
Talking books? No.
That's it. That's one of the missing mouths.
Yes.
Oh no, oh no. Oh great, I can't see anything now. Agreed. The lighting in this school is definitely subpar at best.
We have the mouths.
Great, let's get those on our face. The mouth goes between the nose line and the chin line. You probably knew that. Now, positioning of that mouth can vary a little bit from artist to artist based on the character that you're drawing. I like to have a little less space under the nose and a little more space above the chin. But if you like to draw larger lips, then changing those proportions and tweaking them is a pretty good idea. Remember, this grid is just our guideline. The width of the mouth also varies, but for some rough proportions, we can draw lines down from the center of the eyes to use as our width. What's cool about our 3D head is this also helps us with foreshortening.
Foreshortening. What is that?
Foreshortening is when you see something from an angle and the middle isn't the middle anymore. Because you're viewing it in 3D, the far edge is foreshortened, and so it's shorter. But here we know that there are two edges
Yeah,
to our
same.
lips,
But
and
I
we
wanna.
know where that center line is, and this helps us
I want to
with the shape
develop
of those lips
a character
and how
for
they sit on
the
the face. I don't want to get too much into shading in this video, but the mouth and the lips and the teeth are by far one of the easiest parts of the face to mess up. Since we're just drawing line art here, it's important to remember that less lines sometimes are more.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So rule number one, if you're doing line art with minimal shading, like my examples here, outlining is your enemy. Never, ever, ever outline teeth. It's better to hint at the
Genuinely
shape of
wants
the
you to
teeth
do a
or not draw them at
360
all, or
degrees.
to try to kind of capture the shadows of the forms than it is to outline them. I've never seen line art teeth that look good when they are outlined. Same thing goes for lips. It's better to look at an image and figure out where the shadows and highlights of the lips are than to draw really dark lines around the lips. Fully outlined lips aren't as bad as fully outlined teeth, but that's like saying pickle flavored ice cream tastes better than gasoline flavored ice cream. While technically true, you shouldn't be eating either of those.
Is everyone okay? There's something weird happening at this school. Hey, it's the principal guy again.
Oh no. Hey, it's me, Brad. I'm the guy who makes these videos and then draws myself in them. Now, I made 4 videos for this new channel, and I'm making more.
I'm being nice
working
today.
hard on them. But I made these 4 videos ahead of time, so I'm able to publish them 1 a week for the month of January. From here on out, I'm going to be just publishing them as I make them. And since this is my second channel, and this is a channel dedicated more towards art and tutorials, where my other one is going to be geared more towards tech, it is going to take me more time to get videos published here. So subscribing and ringing that bell to get notified of when new videos come out is probably going to be more important for this channel than it is on the other channel. So my plan from here on out is to get 1 video done a month, maybe 2 if I'm lucky, and go from there. If there's something specific
Genuinely
that you want
wants
to
you to
know
do
or
10
you want me to
squats.
flesh out, or you can think of better ways to structure these lessons, I am all ears. The comment section is yours. I probably don't have time to reply to every single comment, but I definitely read them all. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back in a couple of weeks.
Bro.
If your drawings look like this and you want them to look more like this or like this, you're in the right place. In today's class, we're going to be going over the basics of poses, and we're going to upgrade your artwork in no time. Everyone grab a seat. I think we're all ready to move on to drawing bodies and posing them. As we usually do, we're starting with the very basics. We're going to be building our way up. Now, some art classes at this point like to start with figure drawing. That's some good stuff, but we're going to be focusing more on skeletal drawing in this lesson. We're going to be covering figures in the future, so hit subscribe if you want to get in on that. Are we ready?
Ready.
You all know how to draw a stick figure, right?
Body, arm, leg, head. Did I get that right? It looks too simple.
No, I think that looks good.
Foot, hand, teeth, more teeth, mean eye.
Stop, no, it's too much. Just let me get rid of these teeth. The simple stick figure is our starting point. I do want to make some modifications. I'm going to be putting circles on our major joints. So I'm talking about our arms and our legs, which right now, those look like they're made of one line, but those are actually two lines. They bend at those joints.
Hey, I bet my stick man could be your stick man in hand-to-hand combat.
You're on.
Ouch! Just once. I want something in this school not to come alive and try to attack me. There is another modification I want to make. Humans have shoulders and humans have hips.
Rhinos too.
Okay, yeah. Everybody has hips. These are important for drawing the body. So I'm going to add a line here, and I'm going to add another line here, and then I'm going to reattach the arms and legs at the endpoints. We're getting to the point where we'll be sketching, so we should probably head over to the supply closet. What supplies do we need today?
Pencil and paper. That's it. Nothing
Bro,
complicated.
how do I even
Of
do,
course, you
how
can
do I
use
do
anything.
this?
Pencils are great because we're going to be sketching, and part of sketching is finding the form of a shape, right?
Right. If you're sketching a circle, you may want to go over it several times. Each time the pencil goes over a line, that pencil line is going to get darker. That shape is going to get more and more definition. If you're drawing digitally, you can use a brush that's designed to look and feel like a pencil. Or you can take any old basic brush, turn down the opacity to maybe, 20, 25%, and use it that way. What's important is having a tool that lets you build up your lines every time you put a stroke down, making them look thicker and thicker. Also, an eraser is always helpful. Back to drawing. Now, to make it easier to see the joints, I like to add the circles. We don't always need those. Once you have a sense of where they are, you don't have to draw them in every time, so you're gonna see me use them sometimes and not use them other times. There is something else I do want you to try drawing at this point. We all have one. It's everybody's favorite bone group. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about the rib cage. A cage literally made out of ribs.
And what exactly is that cage holding captive?
Your heart.
Is that a metaphor?
And your lungs, maybe your kidneys. Wait, where are your kidneys? They're probably lower, maybe?
Should I be writing this down?
Ow! That's it. You're going in the rib cage. This is just a placeholder. Don't worry about it. It's not supposed to be accurate or anatomically correct, but it's gonna give some depth to your character. I like to make my rib cages like rounded triangles. In real life, it's more ovular.
Not a word.
You know what I mean, like an oval. It's an oval that's open around the stomach. Listen, don't worry about the anatomical correctness here. What I want to focus on in this stage is quick gestural drawings, capturing the form. This is where sketching comes into play. I find more circular shapes keep my pencil moving. If my first time around an object isn't quite right, my second stroke is an opportunity
wants
for
you
me
to do a
find out
360
where I want
degrees.
that line to go. Then on my third
You
or
just
fourth
don't want me to
time
do
over
my
the same
stuff.
area, I kind of define where that line feels best. My sketches are a mess, and that is okay. Sketching is about getting your idea out. Finished art, that's for looking cool and clean.
What's the real reason for drawing this cage made entirely out of ribs?
When we pose our character, we're going to be seeing that character in 3D. We won't always be drawing them straight on. If we think of this rib cage as having some depth, that helps us when we start to add things on top of our skeleton.
Things like muscles.
Things like muscles. I will admit, the rib cage is the trickier part to this. So if you've never done it before, don't worry, just get it roughed in. Are we ready to start posing?
Yeah.
Posing with a stick figure is a great way to figure out what's natural for your character without having to dedicate a lot of time to the details of your drawing. As you get more and more used to drawing this way, what you want to do is create a lot of different gestures. If your gesture looks good, go ahead and draw it again. That repetition is going to help you figure out exactly what you're going for. Let's go back to the drawing we used at the opening of this video. It feels stiff, like the character is hanging from a coat hook.
Are you talking about the closet incident from last semester?
Hey, anyone out there? I'm stuck. I don't know what you're talking about. How do we get our character to look more casual in a standing position? There's a lot we can do. We can bend their back forwards a little bit, make them look more attentive. This has a ripple effect though. You then have to change the leg position to make the body more balanced. We can bend the spine backwards, give them a more confident look. We can also try different things with the arms. Maybe they're folded, or maybe they're on the hips. or even gesturing at something. One subtle thing that you're going
Why
to see
so
in many
quiet today?
characters that you should try in your own is
Because
tilting the
I'm trying to teach
shoulders.
myself new skills.
Our characters are still just casually standing. It looks a little bit more natural when you try this.
I'm
Also
trying to teach
notice
myself
when we
new
tilt
skills.
The shoulders one way, we offset the hip line at about the same angle in the opposite direction. Like the legs, this is kind of a weight balance thing. I'm also gonna make this leg straight up and down. And then I can take this other leg, maybe push it out a little bit. Again, for weight balance.
This is a lot to remember.
Yeah, it is. I have an activity for you all, though, that I think is going to help. This assignment was going to make learning this a lot easier. Activity, photo tracing. I like to look for action photos on the internet. And the best place to find action photos is, you guessed it,
Sports. Ball. Goal. Field. More balls. Sports.
Read the room, dude. We're the art kids.
I know, but sports is a good place to start because the action is often so exaggerated. What we're going to do is we're going to take each of these baseball players and we're going to draw skeletons over them. So part 1 of this assignment is to find some photos of people that you want to draw over. I have 3 photos here. If you want to use the same exact photos that I'm using, go to the Wikipedia page for baseball and you can download them there. So, let's get to drawing. There are different ways to do this. If you have pencil and paper, you can page, if we want to draw that in here, that gives him some depth. Part of that hip is here, the other part of the hip is here. So we're going to draw that. And sometimes once you start drawing these things in, you're going to say, hey, the back, I kind of got the back wrong. So it's not bad to go in here with a little bit of an eraser and come in here and try to figure out, okay, how did I get that spine wrong? And it's okay to go in here and correct. That's part of the process. Now I'm going to draw on his leg, draw on his other leg.
He got a thing.
leg,
He got a glove thing.
foot. Arm goes here, and then
Bro, drawing is hard. I need to develop a character for this story.
So, but now I'm like, man, I want parts of this too. I'm definitely with the beef. What are you saying? So I'm looking out the window. They dive, Call of Duty, slide, toss, bow, back of the head. I seen somebody do a front flip off. Somebody got hit in the head and did a front flip. So I was like, damn, I might as well join in too. So I grabbed me a snowball. I caught somebody that wasn't looking. I wasn't too far away, you know. If we was on football field, I was maybe like 15 yards away.
Like this character.
I missed. But look, that's not the part that I wanted to tell you. I missed.
I'm trying to develop this character.
But look though, I threw another one. That one missed too. But I threw a third one. It hit him in his leg. And I was like, it's about to go down. And when I say it was about to go down, I went back inside. Big coat.
That's loud.
Puffy. So I got my coat, and our dorm rooms were set up where it was 2 stories, just super long. It was
I don't know how to.
50,
I gotta draw this.
like 50 different dorm rooms, one floor, and then 50 on the second floor. I ran down the hallway doing this. Come outside. It's going down. By the time
Leg doesn't count, you gotta aim for the face with tears of joy.
I was aiming for the face. See, I was aiming for the face. So now, all right, back to the story. So now I'm knocking on all the doors. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody come outside like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I said, hey, snowball fight. Ah! And then I went outside the other end because I ain't want no beef with other dude that was on the other side waiting for me to come back outside. He was waiting at the front door. Look at me, I went out the back door. I'm smart. Why would I go back out the same door? You got snow. I don't. You outside. I'm inside. Ain't no snow inside. You outside with the snow. Wow, he was ready. I walked up to the front door, and before that, he hit the glass right where my face was at. I was like,
You want some rock, paper, scissors?
you different. You different. You different. So you feel me? At this point, I say, nah, we going to the other side. That's what I did. Knock on everybody's door. Snowball fight. Ah! Went out other door. Now I'm suited up. I got my big puffy coat on, 2 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of socks, big boots. We good. Every person I seen, I don't care who it was. Bow. Upside the head. Oh yeah. My shoulder warmed up now. Bow. All upside the back of the head. I'm like, damn. So I ran the other way because it looked like it hurt, and I didn't want no smoke no more. So I went the other way. Then all of a sudden, I get to the big open field. It's a big open field, like probably the size of 2 football fields. Big open field, and it's 200 people outside. Oh, everybody getting hit. I seen somebody knock their glasses off. I'm like, bro, you weren't supposed to wear your glasses out here. The baseball team was out there. I went the other way. You what? You thought you you thought you thought so you feel me? I went the other way. I went around other side. I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all. What? No, I ain't hit you. What? Now why would I do that? Christian. Now why would I do that? Why would I do that to you, Christian? You know you're my boy. You know yeah, you know I play baseball too. I was first base. Yeah, back in my day. Long story short.
They jumped on me. They jumped on me.
So I ran. They was piecing me up all in the back. You know the scene from Ricky? What's that movie called? Where Ricky got shot. Ricky! I feel
So the scenes that I need.
I looked around. They weren't paying attention no more. I got up and ran again. You thought you was gonna catch me? I'm fast.
All right, so what scenes do I need for this? What scenes do I need to make for this?
Now at this point, I'm freezing. My hands cold. I didn't have gloves. I was just. So now I find this other apartment. It's apartments on campus too. So
He went back and forth.
I'm in there. I say, what y'all got warm in here? They say, we got some tea. Y'all got
my honey with the D. They say, yeah, you got some honey.
I said, let me get some tea.
Honey D.
So you feel me? I finished my tea. Now I'm back good. I'm back down. Like, what you thought this was? I'm good.
I'm good.
Hands warm, body warm. I'm good. I step back outside. Bow, right in the middle of the forehead. I said, I'm done.
I'm done.
What? Why y'all let me go back outside? Y'all know what they was on. Y'all knew they wanted me. So y'all knew they wanted me, and you let me go back out there. That's crazy. It be your own people. I didn't know none of them. They just gave me some tea. But you feel me? But yeah, you feel me? I'm like, it be your own people.
All right, so I need.
Own people. So you feel me? Now at this point, I'm pissed off. So now I go out the front door, come around back. Everybody that hit me, I made about 6 snowballs before I came around the corner.
GG.
I had no time to go. I would have got whooped though. They would have hit me with a barrage of a
Barrage.
Bow, bow, bow. I would have been out there. All right, so after that point.
All right, so it's multiple scenes. It's multiple scenes. So
I'm like, damn.
all right, so
That's crazy. That happened all the way over by the girls' dorms. So, but now I'm like, man, I want parts of this too. I'm definitely with the beef. What are you saying? So I'm looking out the window. People, they dive, Call of Duty, slide, toss, bow, back of the head. I seen somebody do a front flip off. Somebody got hit in the head and did a front flip. So I'm like, damn, I might as well join in too. So I grabbed me a snowball. I caught somebody that wasn't looking. I wasn't too far
so
away,
I do need.
and we was on football field.
So we need.
Somebody that wasn't looking. So I was like, damn. I seen somebody do a front flip off.
So we need right outside the door.
Hit in the head.
We need right outside the dorm door. All right, so we need right outside the dorm room.
So I was like, damn, I might as well then too. So I grab me a
Because
snowball.
this is where we did. I grabbed my snowball.
I wasn't looking.
I missed.
I wasn't too far away. You know, if we was on football field, I was maybe like 15 yards away. I missed. But look, that's not the part that I wanted to tell you. I missed. But look though, I threw another one. That one missed too. But I threw a third one. It hit him in his leg. And I was like, it's about to go down. And when I say it was about to go down,
Actually, this should be like a really simple animation too.
big cool. Puffy.
Like I really only need to do animations like big animations like
It was 2 stories. Just super long. It was like 50.
and then like
50
mostly just
all on the
mouth
first floor
movement.
And then 50 on the second floor. I ran down the hallway doing this. Come outside. It's going down.
So I need the inside door.
By the time
Leg doesn't count, you gotta aim for the face with tears of joy.
I was aiming for the face.
We need inside
I
dorms.
was aiming for the face. So now, back to the story. So now I'm knocking on all the doors. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody come outside like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I said, hey, snowball fight. Ah! And then I went outside the other end because I ain't want no beef with other dude that was on the other side waiting for me to come back outside. He was waiting at the front door. Look at me, I went out the back door. I'm smart. Why would I go back out the same door? You got snow. I don't. You outside. I'm inside. Ain't no snow inside. You outside with the snow. Wow, he was ready. I walked up to the front door. Before that, he hit the glass right where my face was at.
All right, so
I'm like,
just inside the door.
you different. You different. So you feel me? At this point, I say, nah, we going to the other side. That's what I did. Oh, knock on everybody's door. Snowball fight. Ah! Went out other door. Now I'm suited up. I got my big puffy coat on, 2 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of socks, big boots. We good. Every person I seen, I don't care who it was.
Also, if you see me keep looking down, I'm actually just
Now, my shoulder warmed up now.
drawing and writing inside my iPad,
All inside the back of the head.
and I don't have anything to connect to the
So I
computer
ran
screen.
the other way because it looked like it hurt, and I didn't want no smoke no more. So I went the other way.
Mm,
Then all of a sudden,
outside.
I get
We
to
need-
a
we need
big
to be
open
outside.
field. It's a big open
Outside field.
like probably the size of 2 football fields. Big open field. Yeah, it's 200 people outside. Oh, everybody getting hit. I seen somebody knock their glasses off. I'm like, bro, you weren't supposed to wear your glasses out here. The baseball team was out there. I went the other way. You what? You thought you you thought you thought so you feel me? I went the other way. I went around other side. I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all. What? No, I ain't hit you. What? Now why would I do that? Christian. Now why would I do that? Why would I do that to you, Christian? You know you're my boy. You know we yeah, you know I play baseball too. I was first base.
Then we need the
Yeah,
baseball
back in my day.
fight. We need the honey.
Long story short, they jumped on me. So I ran. They was picking me up all in the back. You know the scene from Ricky? What's that movie called? When Ricky got shot. Ricky! I feel slow motion. I looked around. They weren't paying attention no more. I got up and ran again. You thought you was gonna catch me? I'm fast. Fast as boy. I'm gone. All right, So now at this point, I'm freezing. My hands cold. I didn't have gloves. I was just. So now I find this other apartment. It's apartments on campus too. So I run through the first floor of this
All right,
apartment.
we got.
Right? I'm in there.
All right, so we got
What y'all got warm?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
We got some tea.
7 scenes.
Y'all
What?
got some honey?
For about a 10-minute video.
Yeah, we got some honey. I said, let me get some tea and some honey. So you feel me? I finished my tea. Now I'm back good. I'm back down. Like, what you thought this was? I'm good. You feel me? I'm good. Hands warm, body warm. I'm good. I step back outside. Bow, right in the middle of the forehead. I said, I'm done. I'm done. What? Why y'all
Not
let me go
story
back outside?
time.
Y'all know what they was on. Y'all knew they wanted me. So y'all knew they wanted me, and you let me go back out there. That's crazy. It be your own people. I didn't know none of them. They just gave me some tea. But you feel me? But yeah, you feel me? I was like, it be your own people. Man, it be your own people. So you feel me? Now at this point, I'm pissed off. So now I go out the front door, come around back. Everybody that hit me, I made about 6 snowballs before I came around the corner because I ain't had no time to go. I would have got whooped on. They would have hit me with a mirage of a barrage. Bow, bow, bow. I would have been out there. All right, so after that point, I got my lick back, and I was like, hey, truce. I want to settle this beef because you feel me? I don't want no smoke no more. Y'all real. They was like, all right, bet. Come help us get them up there. It was 3 balconies. It was people on the second floor.
Damn, I forgot. I gotta do the balconies too.
And they was all out there on the balcony. So now at this point, I'm like,
Damn, there's 8
yeah,
scenes.
let's do it then. So now, the only snow that they have is on the balcony. So they running out. And I'm standing back there. Missed. Miss. Where they ducking, you thought. I was like, all right, you throw one. He ducked. He's like, you bow. He was dead. He wasn't dead for real, but I got him. I knew I had to go home because what I did to him, he wanted his payback. Alyssa with the share. Thank you. So he wanted his payback. So you think I had to get out of there. And now I'm walking back to my dorm room, freezing cold, hands numb. I get in there. Why I got a lump on my shoulder? I done threw my shoulder out of place. My shoulder like, bro, my shoulder was like, ah. And then, at this point, I'm
So
still.
you faster than a cheetah.
Bro, I'm fast as boy.
You watching me on the big screen? You watching me watch myself on the big screen?
What? The next day, all of campus, or pretty much everybody on campus played sports. So everybody on campus was walking around with ice on their shoulders. I'm like, damn, bro, that don't even make sense, bro. The ice is what did
Wait,
it to you.
how does he do his?
I had ice on my shoulder too.
What does his things look like?
And that's the story of my snowball fight. We went crazy. And I kind of kicked it off a little bit.
Otherwise, but I'm
Not
just
really.
and my body puts on.
See, the thing
I could
is,
not 32 feet in the air, flip around.
I was
The
the
reason
person
I
throwing
was
snowballs at
30
people windows
minutes,
and running.
sprint into the hoop. I get closer. I take
And
one
then I hit
large
people
step.
and ran.
I take another large step.
I just like to run. You feel me? Y'all was not finna get me.
Was way
What?
higher
No,
than I
that
had
was the football players.
Again, we set
They
a
was
date for the next day. Either my game is immaculate Or this girl
No.
doesn't know about stranger danger. The next
See,
day comes along
that,
and I'm at
I don't need that kind of.
That's not what I'm
negativity in
looking
my
for.
life. That's all I'm saying.
every
But
time
yeah.
I try to buy something from
That was
Subject,
the time I had a
the attention
snowball
that
fight.
gets put on me is crazy. My first
On
instinct
campus.
the
craziest snowball fight
shit for opposition said he always
in my life.
this story. I want you to know that I'm a W mans. So the morning hits.
Hope
and
you
I'm about
enjoyed
to
the
head to
video.
grocery store.
Like,
Before
share,
I
and
leave, I
subscribe
say, yo,
if
I'm
you made
headed-
it this
I didn't
far,
need normal
and I'll
things
see you
like
in the next
water,
one.
toothbrush,
Peace.
and DJ.
All right, so he did like
That title's long.
he swung 3 times.
Oh,
I pushed the button twice, but he swung 3 times.
See, this point, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. That happened all the way over by the girls' dorms. So, but now I'm like, man, I want parts of this too. I'm definitely with the beef. What are you saying? So I'm looking out the window. People, they dive, call
Yeah.
it slide, toss.
Yeah, you back in your
I
football
seen somebody do a front flip.
days.
Somebody got hit in the head and did a front flip. So I'm like, damn, I might as well join in too. So I grabbed me a snowball. I caught somebody that wasn't looking. I wasn't too far away, you know. And we was on football field. I was maybe like 15 yards away. I missed. But look, that's not the part that I wanted to tell you. I missed. But look though, I threw another one. That one missed too. But I threw a third one. It hit him in his leg. And I was like, it's about to go down. And when I say it was about to go down, I went back inside because it was cold outside. I got a coat. Big coat. Puffy.
What if I did like this?
So I got my coat, and our dorm rooms were set up where it was 2 stories, just super long. It was like 50 different dorm rooms all on one floor, and then 50 on the second floor. I ran down the hallway doing this. Come outside, it's going down. By the time
Flag doesn't count. You gotta aim
Yeah,
for
I
the
did
face
see that.
With tears of joy.
I was aiming for the face. See, I was aiming for the face. So now, all right, back to the story. So now I'm knocking on all the doors. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody come outside like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I said, hey, snowball fight. Ah! And then I went outside the other end because I ain't want no beef with other dude that was on the other side waiting for me to come back
I
outside.
don't want the color picker.
He was waiting at the front
I
door.
want-
Look at me, I went out the back door. I'm smart. Why would I go back out the same door? You got snow. I don't. You outside. I'm inside. Ain't no snow inside. You outside with the snow. Wow, he was ready. I walked up to the front door, and before that,
After we do it like
it
this.
hit the glass right where my face was at. I was like, you different. You different. You
Nigga
different.
drunk.
So you feel me? At this point, I say, nah,
Oh.
we going to the other side. That's what I did. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Knock on everybody's door. Snowball fight. Ah! Went out other door. Now I'm suited up. I got my big puffy coat on, 2 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of socks, big boots. We good. Every person I seen, I don't care who it was. Bow! Upside the head. I was like, yeah, my shoulder warmed up now. My shoulder warmed up now.
Frenzy throws an interception yesterday, Cardinals. Nah,
So I ran.
that wasn't me.
because it looked like it hurt, and I
Oh.
didn't want no smoke no more. So I went the other way. Then all of a sudden, I get to the big open field. It's a big open field, like probably the size of 2 football fields. Big open field. Yeah, it's 200 people outside. Oh, Everybody getting hit. I seen somebody knock their glasses off. I was like, bro, you weren't supposed to wear your glasses out here. The baseball team was out there. I went the other way. You what? You thought you you thought you thought. So you feel me? I went the other way. I went around other side. I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all. What? No, I ain't hit you. What? Now why would I do that, Christian? Now why would I do that? Why would I do that to you, Christian? You know you're my boy. You know we. Yeah, you know I played baseball too. I was first base. Yeah, back in my day. Long story short, they jumped on me. So I ran. They picked me up all in the back. You know the scene from Ricky? What's that movie called? When Ricky got shot. Ricky!
Bro, why are you talking about the Packers?
I looked around. They weren't paying attention no more. I got up and ran again. You thought you was gonna catch me? I'm fast.
That's not what I wanted to do.
Fast as boy. I'm gone. All right, so now at this point, I'm freezing. My hands cold. I didn't have gloves. I was just. So now I found this other apartment. It's apartments on campus too. So I run through the first floor of this apartment, right? I'm in there. I say, what y'all got warm in here? They say, we got some tea. Y'all got some honey? They say,
yeah, we got some honey.
I said, let me get some tea and some honey. So you feel me? I finished my tea. Now I'm back good. I'm back down. What you thought this was? I'm good. You feel I'm good. Hands warm,
what is
body
that?
warm. I'm good. I step back outside. Bow, right in the middle of the forehead. I said, I'm done. I'm done. What? Why y'all let me go back outside? Y'all know what they was on. Y'all knew they wanted me. So y'all knew they wanted me, and you let me go back out there. That's crazy. It be your own people. I didn't know none of them. They just gave me some tea. But you feel me? But yeah, you feel me? I was like, it be your own people.
Bro, what is this?
It be your own people. So you feel me? Now at this point, I'm pissed off. So now I go out the front door, come around back. Everybody that hit me, I made about 6 snowballs before I came around the corner because I ain't had no time to go.
You know,
I would have got whooped on.
I couldn't care less about the Packers.
A barrage. Bow, bow, bow. I would have been out there.
No, that's not gonna work.
All right, so after that,
It actually makes sense.
I got my lick back, and I was like, hey, truce. I want to settle this beef because you feel me? I don't want no smoke no more. Y'all real. They was like, all right, bet.
You know what I'm finna put you through.
Kenyon Lee wants you to do a 360 degrees.
I can't do push-ups. I hurt my wrist and shoulder at Open Gym yesterday. I actually can't put none of my weight on my wrist.
I almost just fell. Oh my god. I'm in my closet. I almost just fell into my door. That would have not been good. Alright, so first of all, this video is probably pretty long, so if you clicked on it, congratulations, you actually want to learn something. That being said, time is valuable, and although I recommend you watch this entire thing, I left some timestamps in the description and the pinned comment if you're looking for something specific. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's get into the video. So, you've decided you want to create a storytime animation channel. Great, cool, fantastic. Just make sure you ask yourself why. If you came here for quick fame and fortune, you're in the wrong place. Animation videos take a long time to make, so expect to be sitting in your room by yourself for hours a day.
I'm just telling you what it
really
is.
having fun, so
I'm not doing
push-ups.
push-ups.
This is some kind of
I hurt my shoulder.
kind of deal. If this dose of reality doesn't scare you off, then good job. You probably legitimately enjoy watching storytime animations and want to make your own videos purely for people to enjoy. Animation can also get expensive once you start getting more professional, but in this video, I'll try and teach you how to start up a channel using what you already have. That way you can't use money as an excuse. What I believe one of the most important steps in creating a YouTube channel of any kind is your channel name. Look like you. If you look at my character, he has puffy hair, despite me having shorter hair in real life.
I just told you. I hurt my shoulder and wrist.
You don't even need a human character. For example, Katsun. Cat is obviously not an anthropomorphic cat, but they designed their character as an animal. This is perfectly fine. Another thing to consider is your personality. Since this character is what you're going to be talking through, it makes more sense that the character reflects at least a little bit of your personality. If you're a loud and obnoxious person, then you probably shouldn't draw a character that looks calm and peaceful. Sometimes it can feel a little off. Something else I recommend is making a relatively simple design. By simple, I don't mean boring, I just mean not super detailed. If your character has dragon wings, and drawing each individual scale is kind of a waste of time. Of course, that's just my opinion, but I feel like if you're just starting off, making a super extravagant character is probably not for the best. Over time, your artistic abilities and speed of what you draw will all improve, so once you get more comfortable, that's when I recommend adding those types of details. Your character's probably also going to have accessories, and this is good. Don't go overboard, but something that defines the character even more will make them more memorable.
You gotta use a different card.
If you want to stand out completely, then think outside the box. My character is a ghost, which I'm sure has been done before, but it's a little something that puts me apart from the average kid in his room that you see.
I'm only doing 10.
For color schemes, try and choose them effectively. If you understand the basics of good colors, it's gonna go a long way. You don't know how many designs I've seen with bright, contrasting colors that are hard to look at. A tool I like to use is coolers. It'll just generate random color schemes that work together. What I would do is put in a skin tone or a color that you know you want in the design, lock it by clicking the lock, and generate. Don't like the colors? Just keep generating until you find some you do. This is a quick and easy way to get colors that work together. I'm not a professional or anything, so it's just super
Kenyon
basic
Lee
stuff,
wants
but
you to do a
if you want little more detail on the
360
design process,
degrees.
I'll leave some helpful links in the description. Just keep in mind you're designing to animate and not to illustrate. Now, for your art style, it's not really something that can be taught. What I would do is sit down with a paper and a pencil and just draw something. No references, just straight from your own mind. Most of the time, your brain will take your favorite parts of every artist's style you've seen and mesh them together into something original. That's your art style. It'll evolve over time as you discover faster and more appealing ways to draw, but this is a practice I like to do. Another way I found my art style was drawing characters from memory. I wasn't trying to replicate how the character was drawn, but rather what features the character had that made them definable. Usually that ends up with you drawing the character in your style. Like I said, there isn't really a way to teach you how to find your style, but that's mostly because everyone is different. Find your style in whatever way works for you. Coming up with ideas for videos is hard, so I've decided to break it down a little. Step 1 is decide what style of video you're making. Look like you. If you look at my character, he has puffy hair, despite me having shorter hair in real life. If you wear glasses but hate drawing glasses, don't draw glasses. You don't even need a human character. For example, Katsun. Cat is obviously not an anthropomorphic cat, but they designed their character as an animal. This is perfectly fine. Another thing to consider is your personality. Since this character is what you're going to be talking through, it makes more sense that the character reflects at least a little bit of your personality. If you're a loud and obnoxious person, then you probably shouldn't draw a character that looks calm and peaceful. Sometimes it can feel a little off. Something else I recommend is making a relatively simple design. By simple, I don't mean boring, I just mean not super detailed. If your character has dragon wings, and drawing each individual scale is kind of a waste of time. Of course, that's just my opinion, but I feel like if you're just starting off, making a super extravagant character is probably not for the best. Over time, your artistic abilities and speed of what you draw will all improve, so once you get more comfortable, that's
What should
when I
my
recommend
character even
adding
look
those types
like?
of details. Your character's probably also going to have accessories. And this is
Genuinely
good.
says
Don't go
hands up
overboard,
for
but
10
something that defines
seconds.
the character even more will make them more memorable. If you want to stand out completely, then think outside the box. My character is a ghost, which I'm sure has been done before, but it's a little something that puts me apart from the average kid in his room.
What
that
should
you
my
see
character
everywhere.
even look
For color
like?
schemes, try and choose them effectively. If you understand the basics of good colors, it's going to go a long way. You don't know how many designs I've seen with bright, contrasting colors that are hard to look at. A tool I like to use is coolers. It'll just generate random color schemes that work together. What I would do is put in a skin tone or a color that you know you want in the design, lock it by clicking the lock, and generate. Don't like the colors? Just keep generating until you find some you do. This is a quick and easy way to get colors that work together. I'm not a professional or anything, so it's just super basic stuff, but if you want a little more detail on the design process, I'll leave some helpful links in the description. Just keep in mind you're designing to animate and not to illustrate. Now, for your art style, it's not really something that can be taught. What I would do is sit down with a paper and a pencil and just draw something. No references, just straight from your own mind. Most of the time, your brain will take your favorite parts of every artist's style you've seen and mesh them together into something original. That's your art style. It'll evolve over time as you discover faster and more appealing ways to draw, but this is a practice I like to do. Another way I found my art style was drawing characters from memory. I wasn't trying to replicate how the character was drawn, but rather what features the character had that made them definable. Usually that ends up with you drawing the character in your style. Like I said, there isn't really a way to teach you how to find your style, but that's mostly because everyone is different. Find your style in whatever way works for you.
I don't even know what that just said.
Coming up with ideas for videos is hard, so I've decided to break it down a little. Step 1 is decide what style of video you're making. If you're watching this video, you're most likely making a storytime channel, so all you're going to want to do is try and think of major or impactful events that you've experienced. If you want to make a skit, focus on the joke and its execution. Making a YouTuber animated, find the portion of the video you like and animate that. After you know what style you're going for, you can go into step 2, something I call bullet points, even though I don't technically use bullet points. All of my videos are in a checklist, and underneath each topic are things I plan to talk about. For example, my Bakugan video I wrote, I stole from that one kid, the video game. I made sure to include the biggest points I wanted to talk about to remind me later in the scripting process. Here I plan on including gameplay, thus the video game.
I'm not doing
wasn't able
30.
to for reasons that aren't important to this video. If you're making a story video, then try not to make up anything either. If you're fabricating a story, then don't
better
market it as
type
something
in a
that
better
actually
number
happened.
than
I
30.
recommend a disclaimer or something, making sure people realize
Yeah, I
that
was
what they're
about
about
to
to
say,
watch
I'm not
is
doing
based on
30.
or isn't a true story. In the end, there's no way I can teach you to think. Whatever you want to do for your video, you can do. Many people find scripting to be the hardest part of the video process, something I can kind of agree with. Although technically you don't even need a script, you can just record yourself telling the story. Scripts make it easier to plan out what you're going to say and what's going on. They give you a basic outline as to what needs to happen in your video. These videos are primarily story driven, so no matter what the art's like, if you can script an engaging and interesting video, then you're golden. Something that I feel is important is how you actually structure your scripts. If done the right way, it'll make your animation way easier, and I'll get to that a little more in the next section. Personally, I write my scripts like an essay, which is a really bad habit, so I'm going to teach you the format your script should follow. At the beginning of each scene, you should declare the location. State whether it's interior or exterior, put a description of the location, and determine if it's day or night. Usually these are done in all capital letters. Underneath this is where you describe the action that's happening during or before the dialogue. Make sure you don't indent. For the dialogue, put who's talking in the middle of the page, written in all caps. The lines of dialogue would finally be underneath that, indented. Since not every scene is going to include an exchange in dialogue, you could write narration as the speaker for the majority of the script, or just do it like an essay if you really want to. Another question is, what do you script in? Well, I recommend Google Docs because it's easy, you can access it anywhere just by signing in, and you don't even need to download it, you can use it online. I wrote the script for this video on 3 different devices, all while at home, at school, wherever. It just makes it super convenient. Animating and need to take a bathroom break? Start scripting your next video. If you've written your script correctly, then storyboard should be a piece of cake. You've already written down what's going to happen in each scene, now you just need to draw it out. When storyboarding, try not to draw super detailed, all you're doing is trying to get the motion down. This is also where you could decide what assets, backgrounds, and one-off characters are going to look like. Remember that you're going to be redrawing everything, so no need to be super accurate with every line. When it comes to what you make your boards with, it's really up to you. Some people like to use sticky notes, others use the actual board sheets. Still others like to make them digitally. It doesn't really matter what you do them with, as long as you've done them well enough that you know exactly what you need to animate. This is another situation where it's not really necessary to do this, a lot of people don't, but planning is really important. In the end, it will save you time. You'll be able to see what actions work, catch any errors in the story's pacing, and if you don't like how something came out, then you didn't just waste your time animating it. To conclude this segment, I'll just say that I highly recommend boarding your video before you start production. As an aspiring voice actor, this part is kind of my niche, so if I end up going overboard, sorry about that. One thing you need to keep in mind is that people are relying on not only your art to convey the story, but your voice as well. They can't see your face, so you need to show emotion in how you speak. If you say something like, "Hey, stop that," it comes off a lot differently than if you were to say it like, "Hey, stop that." When acting, try and get into the situation. In the case of story time, you've already experienced this. Try and get into the mindset that you were in at the time. Don't be afraid to speak up either. It can always be kind of awkward if someone's whispering their lines. When it comes to what you record with, it depends on what you have. If you have a microphone, use it. If not, you can use your phone and record lines that way. If you do have a microphone and a computer of any kind, I recommend you record in the program called
How y'all
Audacity.
feel like?
Sure, you've
How
heard
y'all
of it.
feel
It's
about
arguably
this
the most
being the
popular
character
audio
for me?
recording and editing software out right now, and the fact that it's completely free is amazing. Another thing I should probably address is pop filters. A lot of people think they're necessary. They're really not. All you have to do is speak at an angle. Here's an example. This is with my pop filter, Papa's Pepperoni Pizza. This is without my pop filter, speaking at an angle. Papa's Pepperoni Pizza. Personally, I use a pop filter, but at the beginning, it's not really necessary. If you don't have a mic and you're recording on your phone, that's okay too. All you need to do is find a voice recording app. I have an iPhone and use the pre-installed voice memos for lines on the go. If you want to see the power of voice memos with some noise reduction on Audacity, watch my Bakugan video. The audio for that video was entirely recorded using my phone. When it comes to recording on Android, it's hard for me to say since I don't have one. I would just look through the Play Store and try and find something with good reviews. Alright, so the next most important thing is where you record. Try and go in some place where there's no background noise. Most people just use their closet. After that, try and remove any echo by padding stuff up. If you're in your closet, then the clothes will help, but I recommend adding pillows and blankets until the space sounds as dead as you can get it. You want to do this because the audio right now sounds a lot better than if I were to record over here. Or maybe even out here. You can fix some of it in post, but it's better to get things right from the get-go. Overall, this step is pretty simple. Just try and get the best sounding audio you can with what you have. Much like the recording step, editing depends on whether
Looks like me.
Either way, though, you should be removing the same.
Who is Frenzic the rapper? It didn't do it on. It drew my images on both on one frame. So I got two separate. Oh damn, where the other one go? What is this called? This is called Cali Peg. How to use Cali Peg?
Calipeg 2.1 is introducing a new studio interface to help you organize your production. The studio is the first interface you see when you open Calipeg. It gathers all the shots, scenes and folders. When you start the app for the first time, the studio is empty. Tap on plus in the top right corner and create a new shot, a new scene or a new folder. Tap on new shot to access the panel to edit all the settings of your shot and create it. In the pop-up that appears, you can name your shot. Choose the size of the canvas. You can either double tap here to change the value, or slide like that. You can also choose the FPS of your animation, and you can choose the length of your animation shot in seconds. It is set to 1 second by default, and you can of course change it within your shot. Number of shots to create allows you to create multiple shots at once, and by creating multiple shots, you can choose to insert them in a new scene or not. Tap on Preset to choose between various dimensions presets. Add Preset allows you to save the custom canvas size and give it a name. Add a preset, Square 2000, and now I have my new preset here. And I can change their order with a long touch, and I can also slide to rename or delete my preset. I will create my shots here. Tap on plus new scene to create an empty scene. Scenes can contain multiple shots. You can create a new shot directly with the plus block at the end of a scene, and you will get the same window here to define what your shots will be. Tap on plus and new folder to create an empty folder. And now I could just drag and drop with a long touch my shot in a scene or in a folder. And I can also drag my entire scene into a folder here, which will contain the first shot I created, in addition to the scene containing 2 shots. You can add multiple shots within a scene, and you can add multiple
What is a
shots,
shot
scenes,
versus
and
a
folders
scene?
within a folder. Tap on import in the top right corner if you want to create a shot with an existing image or video from your photo album, your files, or simply by creating one using the camera. You can also import cadipeg.peg files from your files, or import an image sequence. Here I imported a few animation shots, and if I want to organize them, I can, for example, here long touch and drag this one on this one and create a scene called fruits, and at any time I can just drag and drop a shot into a scene, or drag them out of the scene with a long touch. It's also possible with a folder. For example, here I create a folder, test. To open a shot I can just tap on it, or tap on open. And you can see here there is a new option called compress, which allows you to compress your shot and make it way lighter while keeping it in your studio. For example, here my shot is almost 4 GB, and I just tap on compress. What's happening here is basically the same as exporting your shot as a .peg file, but you can keep it in the studio to stay organized, and you don't have to import it again. And you can see here it became 6 MB, and at any time you can just tap on it, decompress it, and work again on your animation. The studio displays elements in the following order: shots, scenes, and folders, but you can decide how the elements are organized within these categories here. Most recent files will sort your shots, scenes, and folders according to the last time the shot or content shot was opened. User order will let you decide and change the order of your shots, scenes, and folders. For example, here I create a new scene, and I can decide the order of them with a long touch and drag. And then alphabetical order will sort the elements in alphabetical order. When you are using the user order, you can drag and drop the elements where you want. I can take this shot out of the scene and put it anywhere. The placement of the shots, scenes, and folders will remain the same, but elements inside can be moved. I can also take that and put it in a folder, and then move the order. And I can long touch and drag and put it out in the studio. You can drop shots in scenes or folders, and you can drop scenes in folders and put them out like that. Tap on this icon in the top left to open or close the sidebar and manage your filters. You have access here to a search bar, so I can say fruits, and then I can go to my scene here or directly my shot and open it. In the sidebar you can choose to filter certain categories to display in the studio. There are 4 categories here: shots, scenes, folders. And then I can... Hi, I'm Ben, co-creator of Cadipeg, and this up to 500 pixels, and the opacity. You can choose your colors here. You can erase with the same brush. You can undo an action or redo it, and you can also do so with 2 fingers for undo and 3 fingers for redo. We also added a great feature to just switch between eraser and brush. So here I draw, and with a finger on the screen I can just erase. Or the opposite, I can erase, draw, erase, and you can enable or disable that feature in the settings. Canvas, allow finger tool switch. Long touch with 2 fingers to display the floating menu. There you can access the color wheel and erase every place of each. Long touch with 2 fingers to display the floating menu. There you can access the color wheel and erase everything in your current sheet. You can also cut, copy, paste and flip. So for example here I can draw and then copy. So for example here you can also cut, copy, paste and flip. You can also cut, copy, paste and flip. So for example here I can draw and then copy, go to another frame and paste, and then I can transform. To transform, I just tap on the transformation tool and I can rotate, move and scale with a finger to keep the ratio. And then I can just validate here or switch frames to validate and apply my transformation. You can also select one part, transform and move it. And I will explain later more about selection and transformation. So now let's start our first animation. I will erase here and here, go back to my brush and draw. I want that to just move across the screen, so I go to another frame. I can enable or disable the onion skin here, which will allow you to see the previous or next sheet to stay consistent in your volume and movement. And if you can't see anything here, you can just tap on that to activate that sheet, the one before the current one, in your onion skin. And then I can just draw another frame. Here it's a bit too much in the volume, so I will just transform and scale it down on the y-axis. I go to another frame, and when I draw, it will automatically create a new sheet. I draw another frame, and I will another frame. This just sheet. And if you can't see anything here, you can just tap on that to activate that sheet, the one before the current one, in your onion skin. And then I can just draw another frame. Here it's a bit too much in the volume, so I will just transform and scale it down on the y-axis. I go to another frame, and when I draw, it will automatically create a new sheet. I draw another frame, and I will copy and paste the last one. When you want to create a new sheet, and it will automatically, I go to another frame, and when I draw, it will automatically create a new sheet. I draw another frame, and I will copy and paste the last one. When you want to create a new sheet, you can just go to another frame on an empty space and draw to create one. Or you can double tap anywhere in your timeline. Now I can play my animation. It's a bit too quick here because each drawing is 1 frame long, so I can double tap to select and extend it or compress it. Here I will put it to 8 frames long, 3, maybe 2 here, 4 and 6. And now the timing of my animation is really different. That's basically how you can animate in 2D using Cashapp. You can press with 4 fingers to play and stop, and even flip with 3 fingers. So you can just draw and flip like that, like you would do in traditional paper animation. You can also display the floating menu and flip from there, or flip just with the timeline. Now that I have my animation, I want to put colors in it. So I can tap on the menu of that layer, tap the eye if I want some info about what it does, duplicate without content. It will create a new layer with the same structure, but it will be empty. As you can see here, I can press on the top of the layers file to open or close it. I double tap on the name to name it colors, and on the other one to name it line. And now I want my color layers to be under the line layer, so I can long touch on it until it becomes orange, and then I slide it down. Now I have two possibilities to color my animation. The first one will be to choose my color here and simply draw to color my animation. And the second one is to use the paint bucket. I can just tap here, but there it won't work because there are holes in my line. So I go back to my brush, I close the holes on every part of my animation. At any point I can just disable the onion skin and hide the bar, and then go back to the paint bucket and just tap, hold, and go to the right or the left to increase or decrease the threshold. And that's how you can add colors to your animation. You can do anything with your timeline. For example, here I can double tap on that, put it there, and it will be pushed at the end of my animation. I can select multiple sheets with a double tap several times, unselect with a tap. I can also select multiple sheets with a tap and tap drag, which is one tap and then one tap with a drag. Tap, tap, drag. It's important to get used to that gesture so you can just be quick. And I can also split my sheets with a slice on one layer or several. If I go from up to bottom, it will keep the content of my sheets. But if I go from down to up, it will make empty sheets, which can be very useful when doing in-betweens. You can select multiples and have gaps in your timeline, and I will go deeper in the timeline possibilities in a specific part of that video. I just go back, and here I want my ease out to be more pronounced, so I can just split, then tap and drag to select those two sheets, enable the onion skin again, transform, and move it back with a finger to keep on the same horizontal line. So here I can see the shape slowing down more. And if I play, it will play only the selected sheets, so I just pause, unselect, and then play. Let's add a final touch with a simple background. I will add a new layer with that icon here. There are different types of layers in Calipeg: drawing layers, video, transformation, which allow interpolation with keyframes, groups, and audio. And you can always see the info here. So I will add a drawing layer, long touch, put it under, double tap on the name, background, and then I create one sheet, I extend it, unselect, go to my brush, and draw a very simple background. I duplicate without the content, put it under, select a color, and color fill. And here you have your first animation. You can even change the background color of the canvas by going to the settings, canvas, sheet color, and put, for example, a blue. And if you want, you can also change the background color. That's it for the first part of that guide. With that, you can just play with 2D animation, draw, make your spacing, timing, play with some different layers, play with colors and transformation. And now we can get more in details in everything Calipeg.
I made myself dance.
Let's learn how to use the onion skin and the out of box features of Calipeg. The onion skin allows you to see what's before and after your current sheet. You have different ways to manage your onion skin settings in Calipeg. You can enable or disable it with that icon in any layer. You can long touch on that icon to access the shortcuts to activate up to 8 sheets before and 8 sheets after your current drawing. You can set the opacity here. You can lock the opacity to link them or unlock it. And you can also access those settings in the settings here, onion skin. But the main way to manipulate your onion skin is the onion skin bar, which you can hide or show with the dash and that icon. From there, you can see your current sheet here. It will change depending on where you are in the timeline. You can tap on the current frame to enable or disable the out of pegs, which we will see right after. And to activate the onion skin on a specific sheet, you can just tap on it. A long touch and drag will allow you to change the opacity. You can also tap on that and use that value here. A double tap to enter a specific value. Or disable in T, but the main is unlocks after, before and out of pegs features of Calipeg. The onion skin allows you to see what's before and after your current sheet. You have different ways to manage your onion skin settings in Calipeg. You can enable or disable it with that icon in any layer. You can long touch on that icon to access the shortcuts to activate up to 8 sheets before and 8 sheets after your current drawing. You can set the opacity here. You can lock the opacity to link them or unlock it. And you can also access those settings in the settings here, onion skin. But the main way to manipulate your onion skin is the onion skin bar, which you can hide or show with the dash and that icon. From there, you can see your current sheet here. It will change depending on where you are in the timeline. You can tap on the current frame to enable or disable the out of pegs, which we will see right after. And to activate the onion skin on a specific sheet, you can just tap on it. A long touch and drag will allow you to change the opacity. You can also tap on that and use that value here. A double tap to enter a specific value. And you can deactivate that frame. You can enable or disable the entire onion skin here, and it will affect
Ollie Pops, what's up? Welcome to the stream.
Tap here to access the colors of the sheets before and after the current one. You might be used to a specific color code, so you can just change it here. Then, in the menu, you have access to different options. You can have a dynamic display, which will adapt to the size and zoom of your timeline. Or you can have a static display, in which you can always see the 8 squares before and the 8 squares after, and you can enable at any time. And for example here, there will be a line in them, because currently there is no sheets in those positions. But if I go there, I have one in the second position. So it will adapt to the situation. And you can always long touch for opacity and tap for the menu. I personally prefer it to be dynamic. Then you can link the sheet's opacity. It's the same option you can get here and here. And it's a nice way to be sure that any drawing closer to your current drawing will have a higher opacity, so you can just see it with a quick look. Then you can decide to render as color or image. For example here, if I set it to color, it will be these colors here for before and after. But if I set it to image, it will be the image and the original colors of my drawings. So I can always see, for example, my shadows and my lights, even if it's on the same layer, which can be back, here, or front. And you can see it better with the colors. So here it's front, and here it's back. I prefer the onion skin to be rendered in the back, so I can draw over it. Okay, so that's it for the onion skin, and we are going to see now the out of pegs features. The out of pegs is a way to move your onion skin without actually moving the content of your sheet. It's like taking
Kenyon
your
Lee
paper
says,
and just
"You look
move it
thirsty.
around to have,
Time
for
to
example,
hydrate."
the correct shape for your character. As an example here, I have my character, and in that sheet here, I want the head to be there. So I can just enable one drawing before, and then normally I would have to draw and then flip and do my best to have it at the correct place with the correct volume, which is of course not easy. So I just delete that, and now I will enable the out of pegs. So I tap here on the current one, or I can go here and activate out of pegs. And now I tap on that one, edit out of pegs, and I can see here a transformation box around my character, and I can move it here. But if I disable the out of pegs, it hasn't moved. It's a display of your onion skin in a different location, just to help you draw over it. And now if I scrub, or if I play, or if I flip, I can see the correct position of my drawings. But what I can also do is tap here and make it visible on the current frame. That way, when I flip, it will be in the same location. And that's a great way to just animate on a still location, for example a head turning around, and keep the volume consistent, and you will be able to flip to be sure it works. For example there, I could enable a few other ones, edit out of pegs, and then move it here, edit another one, move it here, and the last one, and move it here.
Kenyon Lee just extended this stream one more
And
hour.
at any time, I just tap here, and the out of
One
pegs
more
will be off,
hour.
and I can enable it again at any time. In that situation, for example, it's better to have colors, maybe. And if there is too much, you can just deactivate it. If needed, you can also reset in the menu, and it will be back to its position. When you edit an out of pegs, you can just tap to validate, or flip. When an out of pegs transformation is currently active on a sheet, it's orange, and it's gray or white or black if it's not currently being transformed. And when an out of pegs transformation is active on the current frame, it also becomes orange. And if I reset, it becomes dark again. When you are in the visible on current frame option and you edit, you can see all your sheets of paper with the pegs here. So you can see how it is transformed, rotation, scale. You can have kind of an animation desk here. If I validate, I don't see them anymore, unless I go to the settings here, onion skin, and show all. And now you can see everything if that's what you want to do. But I personally prefer to just have like that. And now I can just go to the menu and reset all to put everything back to the original location. And just so you know, when you edit an out of pegs, you can see here the origin and a path, so you can see where it's coming from. And regarding that menu here, you can flip horizontally, vertically, you can reapply, and you can also reset from here. And that's it for the out of pegs feature in Calipeg. Now, let's talk about the brushes you have in Calipeg. You can find your brushes here. You have a predefined brushes set, so you can work on everything from rough to clean and colors. You have the basic brush here, but also a flat brush, a China marker, a pencil, another one here, the charcoal. I don't show you everything here, you can just discover it and try, but my personal favorite is the Indian ink, with that very special rendering, which is perfect for my sketches and the lines of my characters. As we saw earlier, you can just increase the size, decrease it, same for the opacity, double tap to add any value. In the brush panel, swipe from right to left to duplicate, export or delete a brush. Tap on a brush to use it, and tap a second time to enter the settings. At the top here you have a preview, so you can see in real time how it will look. You can play with the smoothing, double tap to enter values, spacing here, the color mix, which can make really nice effects. I enable it here.
Selection and
Long touch with
transformation,
2 fingers
timeline.
for the floating menu, color wheel, and if I draw like that and add another color, it will mix. I can define the value of the color mix. For example, there it will mix more. I can re-inject color. I have a yellow here and a blue. It will look like that. And if I don't re-inject, it will look like this. In that situation, the blue will be added more and more when I draw. And in that one, it won't. So it will be able to mix more with the other color. Here, the color charge will add my current color at the start of the stroke and then mix. And if I don't have it, it will be like that. You have the smudge, which will mix the colors without adding the current color. If I go to my brush here and I activate the dry option, I decrease the opacity. With one stroke, I can increase the opacity and just put layers on top of each other. But without the dry, the opacity will stay the same until I leave the screen and I just put another stroke. If the pressure controls the size, I can use the pressure of the Apple Pencil. And if I don't, it won't. You can define the smallest size here and the biggest here. When I add pressure, it won't be as big as that one. Same goes for the pressure controls opacity. Now the tip of your brush on the basic tools, which you can see with the dash here. We have a few ones. You can't change the tip, but on other ones, for example here,
You can't change the tip.
You can tap here and add another tip. On the Indian ink, for example, we have different tips. Same goes for the charcoal. You can long touch to delete one tip, and you can define the cycle of it. Is it random or linear?
Linear.
Then you can define the rotation style of your tip. Here, if I go to none, it will look like this. If I go to random, it will look like that. And you can also go to stylus azimuth, and you also have line angle. Here in the charcoal, we have a texture. A texture is a black and white grayscale image on which the brush will apply when drawing. So here I have my texture, and here I don't have it. And you can define the strength of your texture with the alpha threshold. The last setting in a brush is anti-aliasing. Here on the charcoal, if I disable it, I will draw like that. And if I enable it, it will be like that. If I zoom, I can see a tiny difference. Here it's more sharp, and here it's more smoothened and kind of blurry around. It's also very visible. Let's study all the possibilities of the timeline of Calipeg. The timeline is located at the bottom of your interface. You can have many layers in it, many types of layers we will see later. Long touch and slide to open or close. With that icon here, you can tap to hide and display your timeline. The numbers at the top represent the number of frames. You can decide to start your animation on 0 or 1 in the settings. General, start counting frames at 0 or 1. In the General tab of the settings, you can also define the language of your interface. It can be Chinese, English, French, or Japanese. When you change the language, you have to restart the app for it to be applied. You can see here, I have numbers, so I know that here it's 1 second, because it's 24 and I'm in a 24 FPS shot, which I can change at any time. But you can decide to display time instead of frames. In the settings here, timeline, tap, and here you go to time for the timeline metric. And now it's 1 second, .00 image. I personally set it to frame unless I'm making an animatic from a storyboard. If your shot is 1920 by 1080 pixels or less, the thumbnails are displayed. And you can go in the settings, timeline, and disable that option so it's not there anymore, which can save a bit of memory. You can add a new frame in your layer by tapping that icon here. It will create a sheet just next to the current one. And by default, it's 1 frame long. But you can define it here, settings, timeline. For example, here I want to create new drawings 2 frames long. And now it's 2 frames long by default. You can also choose to highlight different values. Here it's 12, so I have 0, 12, 24, 36, and so on. But I can go here, timeline, and for example highlight every 6 frames. If I zoom out, I will see less numbers. And if I zoom in, I will see more. And if you want to see everything all the time, you just tap 1. And then when you zoom in, you have each number. But at any time, you always see the number of your current frame. You can scrub in the timeline with a single finger. If you add 2 fingers and pinch in or out, it will zoom in or out. You can flip with 3 fingers on the canvas. And if the timeline is hidden, you will see that line here. You can find options at the bottom of the timeline. You can always long touch to see what it does. For example, here it's push neighbors. So if I select a sheet, it will push the neighbors. The same goes for multiple sheets. But if I tap here, it won't push the neighbors anymore. So I can compress it, but not extend it, which could be useful if you don't want to change your timing. I go back to push neighbors, and here you have the magnet icon. It will be better to understand if we have some gaps. If I'm on the push neighbors behavior, and if I select several sheets, it will extend until the next sheet, and then push.
Yeah.
But if I activate the magnet, it will push and keep the gap.
Yeah, Kenyon added an extra hour to the stream.
Go to not push neighbors. So here it just does that. And if I'm on not push neighbors with the magnet, it just won't be possible to extend or compress the sheets. You put that when you just don't want to move anything in your timeline and just draw. And what about empty spaces here? If I tap again on push neighbors, I unselect my selection by tapping. And now if I long touch on the magnet, it will remove empty spaces and move the sheets backwards. Like that. If I have a selection, it will do the same but only on that selection. If I do the same but with don't push neighbors, long touch on the magnet, it will extend.
Yeah, I get to sleep until 8 tomorrow. I get to sleep so much.
To also remove empty spaces. And the same goes for the selections. Quick summary here. Push neighbors, magnetize. It will remove empty spaces by moving everything. Next. And don't push neighbors, long touch on the magnet. It will extend to remove the gaps. I go back to my initial animation with some undos and go back to push neighbors. Then we have the icons here. The first one will reset your timeline scale and position and go back to the start. The second one here will zoom to the position of your current frame. And the last one will adjust the timeline to fit all the contents in the layer or a specific selection. Flipping is an important part of 3D animation. You can flip in the floating.
No, but I'm not doing that though.
And flip.
I don't plan on going back to
by
sleep.
scrubbing here on the timeline. You can also flip with the keyboard, and we will have a specific part on the keyboard shortcuts, and you can decide on what to flip to. In the settings, flip, you can define your flip style on frames, sheets, or markers. I will add a few markers. Double tap, marker, double tap, marker. If I set the flip to frames, I will flip on single frames. That drawing sheet, for example here, will need 4 until I go to the other pose. Flipping on sheets means that it will flip head to head, and the markers means that it will flip from marker to marker. So here only 3. You can define to invert the flip. When you go up,
maybe
it will go to the next frames. But if you invert, when you go up, it will go backwards. And last, the flip sensitivity. If you put it way high, it will be extremely sensible. And if you put it way low, the movement you will have to do to go from a frame to another will be very long. So you can set it here, depending on your preferences. Your flip style here will also be applied on those icons. So you can go from one sheet to another, or one frame to another, or one marker to another. In the sidebar, you can also go to the first frame or the final one. If the onion skin is enabled, you can choose in the settings timeline to enable or disable scrubbing disables onion skin. So if it's enabled, when I scrub, I won't see the onion skin, and now I see it. And if I disable it, I will see the onion skin all the time. Just as a reminder, you double tap to select one drawing sheet. And to select several, you do a tap and then a tap and drag. When you have one or several sheets selected, you can see the action panel. From here, you can delete the selection. You can copy the content of a drawing sheet, unselect with a tap, and then paste it on another one. You can duplicate your sheets with the content. So here it will be duplicated next to my selection. It also works here, for example. I can also select one or several sheets, long touch on the duplicate with content, and drag it anywhere. And it works the same way with a duplicate without content. You can also duplicate at the linked sheet, double tap, tap here, and then those two here will be linked together. So if I draw here, it will be drawn on the other one. We will see more about the linked sheets and the cycles later in the video. You can set the duration of a selection. Here I tap on the timing icon here. You can hold and choose, for example 4 or 6, and you can also tap and enter a value. You can split your selection, hold and choose, for example on 2, and it will divide all the content of your selection in sheets with the duration you choose. You can invert a selection with that icon here. You can add an in-between structure. There I want to do in-betweens, here and here. I tap in-between and it will create empty sheets in the middle of 2 others. And if you want to keep your timing, remember that you can just split bottom to up to create empty sheets. You can also double tap to create a new sheet and then tap on import, import a photo here and then transform it before applying. And that way you can import images directly inside a drawing sheet. If you select several sheets ending on the same position, you can extend or compress them. When several sheets are selected, you also have access to the Create Cycle icon, and I will explain how to make an animation loop with cycles in another part of the video. And at any point, just tap on the eye to have every info about what the icon does. How to use the markers in Calipeg. Markers can be added at the top of your timeline to help you locate important frames. Double tap on the ruler at the top of the timeline to open the markers panel. The first icon here is the mark in markout. You can select a portion of your animation, double tap on the ruler and add mark in markout to play only that part of your animation. Long touch on the green or red marker and drag to change your in or out position. You can also go where you want in the timeline, double tap and tap in or out. Here I want to add a marker on that position, which is one of my key poses. So I double tap, I tap on the marker icon, then I name it 1. I can tap on the color and choose for example red and tap elsewhere to validate. I can see the name of my marker here, and if I hide the unscreen bar, it will be displayed bigger. I will do that for a few key poses. That one here, double tap, marker, 2, I tap on the color, I select the first one in my history. That one here, 3, red, 5, this one here, 4, and finally that one here. Whenever I want, I can double tap to rename, change the color. I can also decide to show or not the name of my markers on the timeline. In the settings, timeline, always show markers description. I disable it and I don't see it anymore. The markers are located in the timeline ruler. So here, if I select my sheets and I move them, the marker will still be here. We are planning to add some kind of markers on the drawing sheets themselves at some point in the development of Calipeg. Last tip about the markers, you can go to the settings here, flip, and decide that the flip style is markers. So if you flip like that, you can go from marker to marker. If you flip with 3 fingers, it will go from marker to marker, and it will do the same with your keyboard shortcuts. How to use the video layer in Calipeg. I created a new shot, and I can create a new layer, which will be a video layer. You can import a video from here, tap on use, and your video clip is now imported into your video layer. I will move the markout of my animation. You can also import a video from that button here, and it will create a new video layer. If I import a video containing audio, it will create an audio layer with the audio of your video. If you import a video in an audio layer, you will have only the audio of that video within your audio layer. The video layers can be edited just like the drawing layers. You can set the opacity, you can hide it or display it. In the menu of a video layer, you can delete it, you can copy it and then paste it.
Bless you.
You can lock and unlock. You can select all the clips in your video layer or unselect. You can duplicate with the content of your layer. You can rasterize your video. Here I will put it on 2s, and it will create drawing sheets with a 2 frames duration for the whole duration of my video, and it will add a drawing layer while keeping the original video layer here. You can see I have 5 layers, and after I have 6. I can also show a video layer only, and the eye shows the info about the different tools. I will erase a few layers here. A video clip in a video layer also has an action panel, so you can delete your clip. You can duplicate it with the content to make another video clip. And you can set the playback speed. By default it's 100, but I could go to 200 here, and my video will play twice as fast. And you can tap once and set what you want. For example, 10 times the speed, and then it will be really quick. I go back to 100. Like you would do on drawing layers, you can have several video layers. You can split a video clip, move it to another video layer. You can also split on different layers and extend it to the limit of the duration of your video clip. From the studio you can import a video, take a video directly with the camera from the photo album or from the files. If you import a video from your studio, it will create a new shot to the pixel size of your video and with the FPS of your video, containing a video layer with a video clip of your video. And if your video contains audio, it will create a new audio layer containing the audio of your video. The video layer is also useful when doing rotoscopy, which is animating from a video reference. Here I had a video, and then I animated on top of it in drawing layers and added colors to create that type of animation. How to use the audio layers in Calipeg. In Calipeg you can add audio layers to import audio clips, for example to work on a lip sync, or add some basic sound effects and music to time your animatic or your animation shot. Tap here to add an audio layer and on the audio icon, and in that layer you can import an audio file, either from the files with an audio file or from your photo album with a video, and then it will import only the audio of that video. Audio layers work like video layers and drawing layers, but here it's not the opacity, it's the volume of the layer that you can manage. You can also mute and unmute an audio. You can import other audio files from here or from there, and in the menu you can copy your layer, lock, unlock, select all your audio clips, unselect, duplicate your audio layer, make it solo, and even record your own audio. Here I will mute the other ones, double tap on that clip, delete, tap once to go in the recorder, and tap on the red dot to record my audio. That's an audio test for the audio layer. I name it test, enter, and I have my audio. That's an audio test for the audio layer. I can double tap on an audio clip to have the action panel. I can delete the clip. I can duplicate it on any audio layer. I can define the volume of that specific clip. And here I can set that one like that.
Complete guide for beginners.
To 0. So you have different levels of audio levels. You have the audio of a clip, the audio of a layer. In any type of layers in Calipeg, you can tap on the menu and you can access different types of features. Tap on the eye to display what it does. You can delete, copy, lock, and unlock by tapping on the locker. Select all the sheets within your layer, unselect, duplicate this layer with its content or without the content. To select layers, slide from outside to inside. In the menu, you can also alpha lock. When you do that, the background of your drawing layer changes. And now if I draw, it will draw only in the pixels already existing in my layer. And you can unlock the alpha lock by tapping again on it. Something I love about the drawing layers in Calipeg is that you can draw during the play. I will show you quickly. You can just double tap to create a new sheet, set a different timing, for example here 48 for 2 seconds, because I'm at 24 frames per second. I display the whole timeline, double tap here, out, then I will split that drawing sheet in ones. So I have 48 1 frames long sheets. I choose my brush and my color, and then I just tap on play and draw. With that technique, you can, for example, animate rain pretty quickly.
What the hell did you do?
And draw. With that technique, you can, for example, animate rain pretty quickly. If I select another color, I could animate insects. It could also be speed lines. I could also decide to change the type of brush, disable the pressure controls, and animate flames. And even smoke. And now that's up to you to create anything. If you draw quickly, it will make quick movements, and if you go slowly, your animation will be really slow. It's a really cool feature, and I can't wait to see what you will do with that. How to use cycles and links.
What's the name of this feature though?
Slide from outside and draw. Set a different timing. For example here 48 for 2 seconds, because I'm at 24 frames per second. I display the whole timeline, double tap here, out, then I will split that drawing sheet in ones. So I have 48 1 frames long sheets. I choose my brush and my color, and then I just tap on play and draw. With that technique, you can, for example, animate rain pretty quickly. How to use cycles and link sheets to create animation loops in Calipeg. In this shot here, I have a rabbit sleeping, and I want to loop that selection. If I play, you can see how the belly moves up and down, and I want it to be longer in my animation. The first possibility would be to just duplicate with the content, but then if I draw here, it won't be drawn there. And that's a better way to do that. I just go back, select all the sheets I want, and then tap on create a cycle. Now it's a different kind of display, like a box containing all my sheets. And if I double tap to select a cycle, I can extend it, and the animation will be looped. And you can see here the white line indicates the end of a cycle. So that here is 1 repetition. And I want to make 3 repetitions. I could also just tap here and type 3. And now within a cycle, if I draw on that one, it will be drawn on that one too, and that one too. That's what we call linked sheets, and when you scrub, you can see that one being linked to those, that one to those, and so on. I just go back to erase my modifications, I unsolo it, I select the other ones here, and tap 3. And now, my animation is looped. When you select a cycle, you can choose to delete it, to duplicate it with its content, to change the number of repetition, to break the cycle. Here, it will become only linked sheets, so I can still draw here, it will be there, but it's not a cycle anymore. I can edit a cycle, and then I can double tap, extend, compress, time within the cycle itself, and you can define the type of loop. By default, it's a simple loop. It will just repeat the cycle in the original order. Ping pong will invert the cycle for each repetition, and random will place randomly the sheets within the repetition after the original sheets. Here I have a pendulum animation just going one way, so I will select my layers, select all the sheets, and tap cycle. I extend it so it goes 2 times, and then it just repeated in a simple loop. But if I go to ping pong and reduce the animation to the line, I will have a nice back and forth animation. Cycles are also a nice way to create boiling line effects. I have 3 different drawings that I loop. Linked sheets outside of cycles can also be useful in some situations. In this situation, for example, I have a walk cycle that I want to duplicate as a reflection. So I can create a new drawing layer, put it under, select all the sheets in my first layer, copy them as linked, and now if I draw on that one here, it will be here too. I want to move everything here a bit up, so I select all the sheets here and all the sheets here, transform, I move it up a little, I validate, then I unselect. Now I select my second layer, I add a transformation layer with the diamond icon, and from that layer here, I will move the pivot point to the bottom, and drag the top of the transformation box to the bottom. Now I could just decrease the opacity, and now I have my character walking with its reflection, and at any point I can just disable the transformation layer, and that one still exists in its original location. And if I want, I can just go here, lock my alpha, and add some mud on his boot, and you can see it being drawn at the same time under, thanks to linked sheets. That's the kind of things you can do with transformation layers in Calipeg, and I will show you next how you can use them. How to use the transformation layers in Calipeg. Calipeg is a traditional 2D animation pixel-based app, but you can also use transformation layers to add interpolation and keyframes, so you can mix traditional animation and interpolated keyframes animation. In that example here, everything is just a single drawing, and I added different types of movement. In this other shot, I have a flying car, and I wanted to cross the canvas. So I add a transformation layer with the diamond icon, and now my drawing layer is contained within a transformation layer. If you create a transformation layer, it will add your current layer or your selected layers. Here I'm on 0. I can scale my drawing. Here the pivot point is in the center of the canvas. I can select, hold one finger to put it in the center of my drawing. Then I put it outside, Transformation layers are the only type of layers which can have some elements outside of the canvas, while still existing. If I hide, it's still here. It's just modified when the transformation layer is enabled. I have my first keyframe. I go to the end. I slide. And then if I play, I have my animation. At any point, I can modify it on the canvas. It will add keyframes. Here it will be X and Y positions. But if I go there, rotate again, it will create rotation keyframes. And the animation will be different. But in my situation, I go back to only have positions. But I could also do a scale here, and in the end scale it up. In your transformation layer, you can double tap and drag to select keyframes and move them. You can delete the keyframe, you can copy and paste keyframes. I delete that. And you can also decide of the type of curve. Here I can have that type of curve. So there will be an ease in and ease out in the middle. And if you want to go to more advanced settings, you can tap here to access the curves menu. You can display a setting or another. Here I will hide position X, position Y, and only show scale X and Y, for example, or the opposite. You have a color code here, so I know that the red one is position X and the blue is scale X. I can define values by dragging them, or double tap and tap anything to change the value. I can zoom in, zoom up or down, select one keyframe with a tap, several keyframes with tap and tap drag, and then decide I want that kind of curve. So it will speed up at the end.
Enjoy your time and process. Then, what software is she using? Procreate. like drawing faces. That's where it started. I can tell. Whoa. No line art, just do what you do. You just do it. She just does what she does. This is cool. I don't think I have this much of a mind's eye to see what I want.
And then I can just validate here or switch frames to validate and apply my.
Oh, Cyberpunk is out.
On today's episode of Tablets with Drawings on Them, we are looking at the Rosetta Stone. No, stop! It's drawing tablets. We're looking at drawing tablets today. Come again. Little flat things come with a pen. You plug them into a computer. You could draw with them. You're going to be giving people some tips on how to use one, like for beginners. Do I look like the sort of person who gives tips? Tell you what, I'll do you a solid. Why don't you let me host this episode and you can go back to looking at your old rocks. Old rocks? And what is this? I did not approve this music. This is a drawing tablet. They come in different sizes and from different manufacturers, and they're often chosen by new artists who are just getting their feet wet in digital art because they tend to be cheaper and are a great entry point. The downside to one of these is they also tend to have a steeper learning curve than, say, a drawing tablet with a screen. So we're here today to get you up the ladder of learning faster. I'm coming down! When did we get a budget for a ladder? I'm drawing in Photoshop here, but you can use any drawing app that you like. I have a list of 5 really good ones that are free. You can check that out when you're done watching this video. Link that down below in the description. On your tablet, you will see some marks. These show your live area. This is the area where you can draw, and the live area maps to your computer's screen. If you tap your pen up here in the corner, your cursor will show up here in the corner on your screen. Tap down here, it'll show up down here. Of course, dragging your pen across the screen will leave a mark. That's called drawing. Yeah, I am aware of that. If you're new to one of these, your main goal should be getting used to using it. Your first time jumping in is just not gonna feel as natural as it does when you're drawing on paper. This is an adjustment. Everybody goes through it. So if you start drawing and you feel like you don't have full control, you are not alone. It does take some time to settle in. So get ready to practice using this every single day. Things to practice. Your first goal should be getting used to how wide the live area of your tablet is. So take your stylus in your hand and tap on a tool or part of the screen that's in the upper left-hand corner. Then move your cursor down over to the right lower corner and tap again. Then move to the lower left corner and tap again. Then to the upper right corner and tap again. The first time you do this, you probably aren't going to be moving really fast. Like I said, you are just getting used to the screen and how you're...
All right, I don't have one of those.
Yeah, bring me in. Oh my god, 1.8 kilometers? Jiminy Christmas. Okay. Coming.
I think
Come in. You still there? It's nearly midnight. Why don't you hit the bricks, huh? Yeah, Chief. That sounds like a good idea. I can tell you're frustrated. You still working on that case? It just doesn't make sense, Chief. My channel ticks all the boxes and I never see recommended. There's gotta be something I'm missing. I told you to drop that, okay? It's dead weight. The algorithm is just luck. You and I know that. But what if it isn't? What if we're missing something? We're not. Put those papers away and try and get some sleep, huh? Yeah. All right. I know I'm not wrong. I just know it. So you want to be a storytime animator, huh? Well, you're a little late to the party, but all faces are welcome here. This video will be a step-by-step guide on how to start and how to grow, but not on how to animate. This isn't a tutorial, it's a guide. There's a difference. Probably. Before we get into that though, I want to thank my members for making my channel possible. Look, I spent a really long time trying to think of something clever or funny to promote it, but I really suck at it. Plus, I know sponsorships on YouTube are viewed as cookie cutter cash grab nowadays, so I figured my first ever sponsor shouldn't be a service I don't use or a game I don't play. So if you agree to listen, then I agree to save it to the end of the video. I'll let my content decide whether I'm someone you want to support or not. Okay? Cool. Step 1. You need a name, something that stands out and is easy to remember. Back in the day, it was common to have really long names, and while that's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, hence why people often shorten it or just call you something else entirely. Something short and sweet. Domix, Ditus, Tabs, Ivy. Hey, that's me. Please don't put animates or animated in your name. It's kind of redundant at this point, and if you can avoid it, then just do. Step 2, you need a character. This is highly personal to you, so I can't tell you what to do, but I can give you some pointers. Don't make your character bland. You want to be recognizable and unique, but do not overdo it. Remember, you're going to be drawing this character a lot over the course of your channel. So while a crazy outfit and hairstyle seem cool at first, you will grow to utterly hate it. And for the love of God, do not trace. While I personally don't see an issue with tracing for recreational uses, videos are not the place for that. As your art develops over time, you'll get better. It's just science. But this, don't do this. Step 3, now that you have everything you need to get started, brand yourself, acquire social media ads, make a YouTube banner, make a YouTube profile picture, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dog, tell everyone. Great, your channel is looking fantastic, but now comes the hard part. Step 4, animate. It is important now that you choose the red pill or the blue pill. You can pick the red pill and make whatever you want. You want to add a slight bounce in between frames? Go for it. Hell, no bounce at all? No transitions or continuity? Who cares? You're as free as a bird. You create what makes you happy. Or the blue pill, the dreaded and unholy world of frame-by-frame animation. No. Here. There you go. It is important to state now that animation takes forever. I'm talking weeks of nothing but constant drawing. So take your schedule and clear it. You've got no free time now. So animate. Draw some more. Draw a mask. Draw a hat. There's a line. There's a curve. Animate some more. Make it bigger, better. Don't stop. Don't lose focus. You got it. Take a break.
Get back to it.
It is important to remember that you are human, and humans need a break. So here, I made you a sandwich. Ham and cheese, just like you like it. Oh, thanks. No problem. You can't go wrong with ham and cheese, am I right? No, sir. Thank you. Hey man, glad I could help. Doing a really good job so far. I'm proud of you. In no time, you'll be just like me. Thanks, Javier. That makes me feel a lot better. I fell asleep. Maybe Chief is right. Maybe there's no answer. Fine. I'll pack it up. No. There's no way. It can't be true. It can't be. I checked. No. Chief? Chief! You full? Yeah. Okay, let's see your progress. 18 seconds. You spent 2 hours on 18 seconds of work. This is the part where I need to bring up step 5, assessment. Is this something you really want to do? Or did you just see the views and think it was an easy cash grab? If so, there are far easier ways to make money on YouTube. There's no need to waste your time here. If you don't enjoy it, truly, if it's not fun for you, then this might not be it. But hey, at least you recognize that now, right? There's no harm. I want to do it. What? I want to do it. Huh. Well, all right then. Go for it. Yo, you finished? Yes. Cool. Step 6, upload and wait. How long does this take? I don't know, a few years? A few years? Look, it's hard enough for small channels to get noticed. The fact that you upload so infrequently doesn't help either. Look, you see this? This is 3 years of effort, all in one number. If you're like me, you wait. If you're lucky, it'll take a year. If you're really lucky, a few months. It's all luck. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you, your odds aren't really good here. The time you spend on these videos are going to be immense and very tiring, all for little reward. Are there ways to make it better? Well, other than collabs, which are rare, no, not really. Well, what happens now? Well, now comes step 8. That's it. Congratulations, you are now a certified storytime animator. Keep uploading and staying on your grind, and maybe someday you can be as big as the top dogs, with a team and all the money you could ever want. I'm really proud of you. Really. Thanks, man. I try. Any new video ideas? Yeah, actually, I had a few. I'd like to run them by you, if you don't mind. No, not at all. Go for it. Okay, so I had this one idea for a video. Come on, Chief, pick up. Chief, you gotta get to the station. I figured it out. Ivy, slow down. You did what? The algorithm. I figured it out. I got him. What? Got hold, Ivy. You're not making sense. Look, you need to come down to the station now. It's 3 a.m., Ivy. What the hell is going on? I wouldn't finish that phone call if I were you. Ivy. Go on. Hang up. God, you're worrying me. What's the matter? You know, you smaller channels are so goddamn annoying. A thorn in my side. I give you everything, and this is how you treat me? Poking around where you shouldn't. You lied. All of it wasn't true. You knew the secret to the algorithm the whole time. Yeah, and so what? I'll let that secret out, and all hell will break loose. This is for your own good, yeah. The community supported you. You were our family. Oh, there you go preaching. I made this community. Me! Not Jaden, not Domix, not Swoozy. I did. Before I got here, it was chaos. No formula, garbage, left and right. I restored order. By stepping on those below you? Like we're some kind of trash. It's unfair. Enough talk. First, I'll deal with you. Then whoever told you the secret. Moles would not be tolerated. Now, say goodbye. Viewer? Ivy? Oh my god, thank you. I didn't know if I should shoot or not. Shh. Hush. It's okay. You did the right thing. It's over now. Oh yeah, Ivy? Yeah. I got 100 subs on my channel. Hey, look at you. Good job, kid. I'm proud of you. Thanks. I really wanted to try and animate frame by frame, if that's okay. Hey man, go for it. I know it's a lot harder, but I think I can do it. Maybe if I change my schedule around. So now I'm gonna explain my membership to you, but let's just cut to the chase. I have spent the
Flip a clip. What's flip a clip?
Hey you, yeah you. Are you wanting to become storytime animator, but you have no idea how to make a storytime animation?
Hell yeah.
Well, you've come to the right place. Today, I'll be teaching you guys how to make a storytime animation with Flip a Clip. Okay, yes, I've made a tutorial like this before. I've made a how to make a storytime animation with Flip a Clip before. But the thing is, that video is outdated. I made that a few months ago, and I've made so many changes since then. So this tutorial will be a higher quality, better explained tutorial for you guys, because I want to help you guys in the best way I can. Alright, let's get started. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you guys how to come up with ideas if you're stuck, create an effective, easy, and efficient script, record your audio, and also animate. I'll be providing advice for each step so you can get the highest quality of animation. Alright, so step number 1, coming up with an idea. What is this idea I'm talking about? The idea I'm talking about is the story. Script. Story is where you express your story. Last, final, and most important step. Animation. So we all know and love The Odd Ones Out for his amazing personality, his amazing videos, and personally, I think he's most of our inspirations. So naturally, we want to be like him, we want to animate like him, we want to make videos like him, and we want to be as popular as him. So you probably notice how he has his character bounce around, and that is how he makes his character move. And I'll teach you guys how to do that. Hello, wonderful citizens. Sorry, this is like my billionth attempt on this. So my throat hurts. Anyways, this is the animation part of this tutorial, and I'm in a brand new, recently opened Flip project, and it is 12 frames per second with a default background. This is what I use from all my videos. And the tool I use is this pen, and I do it at size 7. So what I have right now is this little piece of pre-recorded audio. Hi, my name is Cheesymations, and I love cheese. Hi. Pretty simple. And right now, let's animate over it. Yeah. So I'm gonna get the ruler tool for my beautiful, perfect head. I'm just kidding. Oh my goodness, that's a pretty thick body if you ask me, but I don't care. This looks terrible, but this is not a how-to draw video, so it doesn't matter. So anyways, I want to copy and paste this pose all the way until I want to change it. So what I mean is, since this is hi, my name's Cheesymations and I love cheese, I want to change, I want to create my next pose at the word my. So hi, my. So you want to drag this little bar, hi, and you want to go to, or you want to hear where your next phrase or next word starts. As you can hear, my next word starts at frame 8, so I want to copy and paste this pose all the way to frame 7. So to do that, go to the 3 dots in the top right corner, click Frames Viewer, press and hold on the frame you want to copy and paste to select, and you want to go to the bottom where all these icons are. Click on the one with the 2 boxes or 2 squares. One of them is dashed, and one of them is normal. That's the copy one, and to paste, go to the one on the very right to paste. I said frame 7. So that's how you copy and paste. And let's go back. Hi, my now let's draw the my pose. If I can draw, okay, that's not exactly lined up, but it's not noticeable. Or at least for my character. Okay, this is the worst, okay. But it is not half as bad as my old videos character. Like, it literally was so thick. Anyways, this is my post, and this one I want to change the word and. Hi, my name is Cheesymations, and. So let's hear where the and starts. My name is Cheesymations. So it starts at frame 24. So I want to copy and paste that all the way to frame 23. Go to Frames Viewer, press and hold to select, copy, and paste. 2, 3, 23. As you can see, it ends at 23. Now, let's do the final one. This is and I love cheese. This is how I'm Okay. What is this? What is this? Anyway.
What are those?
Since this is the last one, I'm going to copy and paste this all the way to the last frame of the video. Jeez. As you can see, it ends at frame 39, so I'm going to copy and paste this all the way to frame 39. Hold, or go to frames viewer, press and hold to select, copy and paste. And then, now it's at 39, so that's your final thing of your video. Or this tutorial video. Let's see what it sounds like. No, it's not finished yet. Hi, my name is Cheesymations, and I love cheese. That looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. There's no transitions, there's no animation, there's no moving, there's nothing. It does not look like the Odd Ones Out. But since I said I'm gonna teach you guys that animate like the Odd Ones Out, I'm gonna do that. So what you wanna do is go to the first frame of a pose. You could do this to the very first frame of your video, but I don't do that because I don't want to start on a bounce. Hi! So I'm gonna go to the second pose instead. Oh, yes. You want to click on this tool, which is the draw to select tool. You want to draw a circle around your character, and then enlarge it this much is enough. As you can see, that creates a little bouncy transition thingy. Okay, and then you want to do this to every first frame of every pose in your video. My name is Cheesymations. Bam. Now let's see how this beautiful looking thing looks. Hi, my name is Cheesymations and I love cheese. You have done it. I have done it, actually. I don't even know if you're doing it right now, but anyways, that's it. That's how you make a storytime animation on photo clip. Hope this was helpful. Hope this, you know, what if I can draw. Okay. It's another really important step. It is where you explain your story. Alright, kiddos, you've made it animation. So we all know and love the Odd Ones Out for his amazing personality, and we want to make videos like him, and we want to be as popular as him. So you probably notice how he has his character bounce around, and that is how he makes his character move. And I'll teach you guys how to do that. Hello, wonderful citizens. Sorry, this is like my billionth attempt on this. So my throat hurts. Anyways, this is the animation part of this tutorial, and I'm in a brand new, recently opened Triplicate project, and it is 12 frames per second with the default background. This is what I use for all my videos. And the tool I use is this pen, and I do it at size 7. So what I have right now is this little piece of pre-recorded audio. Hi, my name is Cheesymations, and I love cheese. Hi. Pretty simple. And right now, let's animate over it. Yeah. So I'm gonna get the ruler tool for my beautiful, perfect head. I'm just kidding. Oh my goodness, that's a pretty thick body if you ask me, but I don't care. This looks terrible, but this is not a how-to draw video, so it doesn't matter. So anyways, I want to copy and paste this pose all the way until I want to change it. So what I mean is, since this is hi, my name is Cheesymations and I love cheese, I want to change, I want to create my next pose at the word my. So hi, my. So you want to drag this little bar, hi, and you want to go to, you want to hear where your next phrase or next word starts. As you can hear, my next word starts at frame 8, so I want to copy and paste this pose all the way to frame 7. So to do that, go to the 3 dots in the top right corner, click frame viewer, press and hold on the frame you want to copy and paste to select, and you want to go to the bottom where all these icons are. Click on the one with the 2 boxes or 2 squares. One of them is dashed, and one of them is normal. That's the copy one, and to paste, go to the one on the very right to paste. I said frame 7. So that's how you copy and paste. And let's go back. Hi, my now let's draw my pose. If I can draw, okay, that's not exactly lined up, but it's not noticeable. Or at least not half as bad as my old videos. Like, it literally was so thick. Anyways, this is my post, and this one I want to change the word and. Hi, my name is CheesyMations, and. So let's hear where the and starts. My name is CheesyMations. So let's start at frame 24. So I want to copy and paste that all the way to frame 23. Go to frame viewer, doesn't hold to select, copy, and paste. 1, 2, 3, 23. As you can see, it ends at 23. Now, let's do the final one. This is, and I love cheese. Okay, what is it? And I love cheese. That looks terrible. But I don't do that because I don't want to start on a bounce. Hi! So I'm gonna go to the second pose instead. Oh, yes. You want to click on this tool, which is the draw to select tool. You want to draw a circle around your character and then enlarge it. This much is enough.
This much is enough.
As you can see, that creates a little bouncy transition thingy. Okay, and then you want to do this to every first frame of every pose in your video. My name is CheesyMations. Bam. Now let's see how that beautiful looking thing looks. Hi, my name is CheesyMations, and I love cheese. Hi. You have done it. I have done it, actually.
As a kid, I watched animated cartoons all of the time, like a lot of you did. But as I got older, my view of these cartoons changed. Instead of being absorbed in the cartoon, when I got older, I saw flaws, mistakes, purpose, and even messages hidden within these cartoons that I never picked up as a kid. And in fact, for the first time ever, I got bored of watching cartoons. Now, this isn't the kind of boredom where you can't find anything to do. This is creative boredom. Well, I guess that's what I'm gonna call it for this video. I was so tired of watching the fruits of someone else's hard work, someone else's ideas on the screen. I just wanted to create something that's mine. A story that I controlled, so I could actually reach an outcome that I was satisfied with. That's probably the main reason that a lot of you are watching right now. You want to create something that you're satisfied with. You want to create something worthwhile that you can feel fulfilled while making and watching. You're creating the story that you would want to be told. So, you want to make your own animated series. Well, first of all, here's what you need. You're going to need a premise or a reason for your show to actually exist. This is the most important part of the show because it's actually why the audience will consider watching your show. Like in the show Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, the show's premise is that these imaginary friends live in a foster home so they can be adopted by children. Anyway, you're gonna need characters. You're gonna need an episodic story of some sort. Like every single day, Mac comes from school and goes to the foster's home to see Blue and what he's up to. Usually it's something crazy and there's your episode. Since it's gonna be animated, you're gonna need some animation software and a drawing tablet. Probably gonna need some music, voices, if you want. So, is that it? The answer to that is actually no. A lot of you probably know that the animated series that you see on TV aren't made by one person. They're made by people. That is, teams of people. The cartoons that you watch are made by teams of people. People that work together and can get things done faster simply because there's more of them working with a similar goal in mind. So with that said, is it even possible to make an animated series on your own? And the answer to that is yes. The one thing you need over all the things I just told you previously is passion, desire, the want, then the drive to make an animated series. It's a huge project. Think about it like this. In a lot of animation classes in college, university, or whatever, your final exam or final project will be to produce a short film. And you see these all over YouTube and they're great, they're awesome, yeah. But a lot of times these short films take months, they take weeks. And if you think about it, if you want to make an animated series, you're gonna have to make multiple short films posing as episodes to your animated series. So if you think about it, you're doing a lot more work than it actually sounds like. Studios make multiple of these short films and release them in a timely fashion, most likely when they're finished with the season or so. That's a lot of work. But it's not like you came here with nothing. A lot of you who are watching this video already have some idea for your animated series. Some episodic story, perhaps, maybe a slice of life sort of cartoon, and maybe you thought of a couple characters, you thought of what it might look like in your head, and perhaps you even came here with some concept art, and that's all great. But my one tip that I'm gonna leave you guys with is, if you want to make an animated series, you have to, please don't call me corny for this, make an animated series. I know it's gonna sound kind of crazy, but you really have to jump in and start doing it. And here's why. If you sit at your computer, you start animating, you start drawing your first character saying his first words on screen, you're gonna hit a couple roadblocks. And these are good roadblocks. You're gonna realize that you've only thought of maybe 3 characters, the main character and his friends. And you're gonna realize that you don't even know where this person lives. You don't know what the background looks like, you don't know what the lighting is gonna look like, you don't know what the tone of the scene is. So all that stuff you're forced to figure out because you just started on a whim. And that's good, because it forces you to do all the other stuff that you need. It forces you to make the backgrounds, it forces you to perhaps compose some music or find some online, and that's really, really good. That is pushing you to make your series because it gives you a good reason why you're not finished with it. Because if the reason that you're not finished with your animated series is because you're composing music, that's a great reason. If the reason you're not making your animated series is because you don't have the gumption to make an animated series, that's not really a bad reason, more than it's just not a good thing. You want to have the drive to do what you want. In fact, that's what a lot of people want. It's what most people want. So my message to you in conclusion is to go and animate your animated series. Like, click away from this video. Go, like, get out of here. Do not watch until the end. Please watch until the end. The point is that you have to start. You have to mess up. You gotta look back and say, oh man, maybe my first scene wasn't that good. Maybe the storyboards weren't that good. You have to do that stuff. You have to start right now so you can get to the point where you look back and say, oh, maybe I can make that better because you've improved. You have to get to that point. So go and make your animated series. Go draw the first frame. Go download OpenToons and start animating for free. Go and start designing characters and worlds and drawing concept art for backgrounds and posting it on Twitter. Just do whatever. You gotta start. You gotta start right now, because then you'll get into the process. Your brain will be in it.